What is up, everyone, and welcome to episode 100 of the Party Chat podcast. I am your host, Squiggy, and I am joined for the final time ever by Slazo and Laura. Hello, you two.
Hi.
Heyo.
How are you both?
I'm emotional.
So it's
I'm
emotion,
fine,
isn't it?
It's
Yes.
it's heartbreaking.
It's gutting. It is gutting, but you know, all good things have to come to an end. And if some of you are listening and wondering what we're talking about, we thought we'd do something big for the 100th episode. We've been talking about it for a while, and we thought, what better big
What
thing to
better
do
thing
than
to
end
do than
it?
to kick the chair away and let the noose just... No?
Pretty
It's
much,
magic.
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So we're ending Retro Remastered and every YouTube bit and bob after this week. Slazo Saturday Morning Switch will end. Has ended. Thank you. Slazo Saturday Morning Switch has ended, and this 100th podcast, which goes live at night, is live now because you're obviously listening to it, is the last podcast we will be doing as a group of friends. We'll go with friends.
We're not going with friends. No.
What do you mean? So like episode 101 is happening and we're all enemies? What?
Oh no, that's the secret ending, Slazo.
Oh,
Secret
okay,
ending.
got it. Sorry.
So yeah, so this is the 100th and last episode of the Party Chat podcast. We've been doing this for, 2.5 years now?
2.5
Party Chat
years.
podcast for 2 years. The website itself was E3 2015 we started.
2015, so yeah, about just over 2 years, yeah. And it's been fun. It's been fun, but yeah, all good things have to come to an end. We're all going on to pastures new to
Bigger
do other
and better
things.
things, except for one of us, but...
Well, it depends. I mean, from what I've heard about what Laura's doing, it is quite impressive. But yeah, so Slazo, before we
Why
jump
am I
into the
here? This just seems mean.
because
Carry on.
you're one of the founders of this. You're the
Okay.
foundations this was built on, and you're crumbling,
Okay.
just like we all are. But anyway, yeah. So what we're going to do for this podcast, I thought, because we spent a lot of time on the podcast, Slazo thought this, doing our top 50 games. I thought, well, why don't we revisit those top 50 games and let's talk about them again? And
You know, that
yeah,
thing we built up over the course of like 75 episodes.
yeah, so it's a bit of a shame just to have it wasted. So we'll go back through them. Some of the games I've completely forgotten about. But yeah, that'll be interesting. But before that, I thought, well, why don't we sort of talk about what we're going to be doing in the future? Slazo has his.
We talked
future
about that at
plans.
the start,
Oh.
alright.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the start because we're going to say a fun. Or do you want to talk about it at the end, or do you want to?
You're the host, Twiggy. This is your
Well,
last act of power. Enjoy
Well, you
it.
see, I'm happy with whatever. I just want everyone to be happy. We'll talk about it now. We'll
Sure.
talk about it at the end.
Right.
So, Slazo, what have you been playing this week?
What? Make up your mind, man.
This is why that we're ending. It's bad hosting like this. I don't even know. I feel
What
like
you
I'm in the
didn't
middle
know
of
is
a
we had to
crossroads.
edit like 2 hours of Squiggy like rapidly dashing around every week.
Whoa, I was flawless. Remember when Laura's phone went off?
Oh, it's good times.
Anyway,
That was
yeah.
actually my personal podcast highlight.
Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about what I've been playing first because, you know, we all still play games, so a quick look at what I've been playing this week. Slazo,
Sure, I
have you been playing much?
I have, actually, yeah. I've played some more Final Fantasy XIV. I've been getting kind of really back into that, slowly leveling up my White Mage. So I've now in the level 40s, so I've just done the content over in Kurfas, which means I'm making my way to Garuda, and I'm having a good time. I really enjoy Final Fantasy XIV. It's my favourite MMO by a mile, but yeah, having fun with that. And played a bit more Gears of War 4, so I've now finished the campaign. And it's okay, I guess. I mean, not as good as Gears 2, better than Gears 1. There's the the Swarm, shoot them. Do that a lot. Look, it's a Swarmak. It's Gears of War. Like, they tried in some ways to add a better story to it, but yeah. I'm just happy that the girl and the guy didn't make out at the end because there was no reason for them to do that whatsoever. So.
I was glad about that as well.
Yeah, I'm happy about it from a storytelling perspective, Squeaky, not from a
Jealous perspective.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think. I thought they were more like they came across.
They came across as more like BFFs in some way. Yeah, barely even that. Like every character struggled to show emotion in that game. So
I thought that was the most
emotional Gears. Yeah,
in Gears. Wow. Yeah, I know, right?
Also, the only person to die is a woman.
Yeah, he spent the whole after credits pointing that out. 2017 or 2016 when the game came out. It was good times.
That is actually a good point. I've never thought about that. Wow, we shouldn't have spoke about this because now I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm quite shocked.
It was a side thing. I like the bit at the end where you playing the giant mechs. That was cool.
That was quite cool. Yeah, I mean.
To be fair, what got to me was like you then slay the boss, and I'm like, cool, here we go, the final assault. Oh, that's the end of the game.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, the ending, wasn't it, with that?
It's like, here's their big base, you've just beaten the guy guarding the front door, now we get to storm it. Oh, she's right there.
Yeah. That's it. Done. Job done.
Yeah.
How many times did, do you know when you were in the mech?
Yeah.
Did Laura die many times?
I think we both died like once or twice in that section.
Oh. Is that it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It all came down to...
You've improved, Laura.
It all came down to the...
To be fair, what I discovered was, like, in some areas where you and her had done it first time, we took forever, and then vice versa. Like, do you remember the catapult with the rocks?
Basically...
We were there for, like, 15 minutes.
Yeah, basically, after the bit where you clear all the rocks with, Slazer named it Trevor. The machine that clears locust shells. There's the snatcher that comes back, and you have to destroy another snatcher, and we kept dying and getting snatched. It was just after we got Marcus back.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we died a lot. Yeah, me and Slazer did it the first time. No deaths or downs really. It was really
impressive.
Yeah, it was really weird because I was like, oh, there's a hard bit that's coming up, and then nothing.
Also, I can't do chainsaw duels at all.
Yeah, he can't. Like, that does happen. That was the reason he did die.
Because I'm left-handed. That's my excuse. Because I'm left-handed. So basically, whenever a chainsaw duel started, I was like, oh no, and Laura was like, what? Slazer's died. Oh.
Slazer's dead.
It's like before I'm even dead, I'm like, I'm not gonna lose. This is happening.
It's the fact that he used to just like all of a sudden there'd be like oh no, and then I'm like, what? And he's like, never mind.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. How about you, Squiggy?
Me, I have been playing the Call of Duty World War II beta.
Ah,
Oh man, for the last time I get to say, boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground. See, I timed. That's why I thought we'd better talk about it. But you know what? I really enjoy it. It's so much fun. It's so nice to be boots on the ground. I really enjoy it. The maps. I think there's been 4 maps that I've played. I've played a bit of Team Deathmatch, a bit of Hardpoint. I've not played any of the warm game mode yet.
Right.
That's my plan to play this weekend. But I'm really enjoying it. I think it plays very well. I think the new divisions work very well. And yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's a good change to go back to boots on the ground. And I'm excited to see more of the game and play more of it. And I've also played the Destiny 2 beta on PC.
So did you play the original one on the PS4, Xbox One?
The beta, yeah, I've played it on PS4.
So what were the differences, or were there any? Or...
Do you know what? It just ran so much smoother on PC. Because obviously, I mean, I've got a decent spec PC, but I'm only outputting a 1080 still, like I am on my PlayStation, and it just felt so much smoother going through it. Like the gunplay felt so much better, like just moving and aiming, everything just felt so much slicker.
Content gameplay.
Oh, sorry, content. Oh,
I couldn't give a shite about visuals. I'm an Nintendo
content-wise, it's pretty much the same game. They've changed the map. They've changed the map that they used for one of the multiplayer games. It's a different map. Okay. And they've sort of changed. They've changed a couple of things like with grenade timeouts. How long the grenades take? That's so much quicker. Powering up your super's a lot quicker as well.
Nice. That was a big thing in the beta.
Yeah. They've made the changes that we sort of wanted, and yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm looking forward to that coming out. The day
Weird
this
to think that's
podcast.
so soon. Yeah.
It's the day this podcast goes live.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it is on Wednesday. Yeah.
It's-
Shoot.
Yeah. Episode 100 is also Destiny Day.
Yeah. So
It's
if
our
you
Destiny Day.
want to hang out with us, play Destiny on PS4, PC.
Yeah, probably mostly PC. PS4, sorry. PS4.
Okay. Well, I didn't know
Are
which
you-
one you were day oneing on.
I'm day one and both.
Okay.
So I'll see everyone on PS4 and PC. Yeah, I think that's all I've been playing. I'm having a look around. Played a bit of Infinite Warfare on PC to see how that ran. I'm bloody good on PC Infinite Warfare. I'm rubbish on the Xbox. But apart from that, that's all I've played. Laura, what about you?
I did some Gears of War with Slazer because I was his co-op. I say companion. It doesn't really feel like a companion. More like his co-op. Drag him through the story.
Laura was the reason I played
Yeah.
through Gears of War 4 co-op because I would not have gotten around to doing that on my own. But
Yeah, so I was doing a service. Well, apparently not to the Gears writers because now Slazo resents them.
I don't resent them. I just feel that got a bit built up too much by some people.
I feel like that's aimed. That's aimed, man. Aimed.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, have I played anything else? I think it was just Gears of War. I've just got Crash Bandicoot Trilogy lent to me. So I'm gonna probably do some Crash after. Oh, I did a little bit more Uncharted Lost Legacy. I did forget. I'm working on Uncharted Lost Legacy, then I'll do some Crash, and then return to Horizon eventually. I swear. I promise.
We'll see. We'll see.
She won't.
She won't. But it's got easy mode, remember?
It's not the difficulty that's the issue.
How you finding Uncharted Lost Legacy?
I like it. I mean, it does exactly what you expect it to be. The only thing I'd probably say is Slazo commented on this actually because he was in a party when I was playing. The dialogue sometimes is a bit awkward between the characters.
All right. Yeah, I do remember this now.
Yeah, basically, you know the bits when have you played it, Squiggy? I feel like I'm going to be
No,
talking.
I've not played it yet.
Basically, you do the main starting missions and everything, and then there's a bit. Basically, you're in one big area, and you're driving to each different location, and your favorite buggy that you can tie rope to at the front. You know, the bit like in Uncharted 4, and you're driving across all that open space to the different towers. And the dialogue they have in the car is just, at times, just a little forced. Like, some of it's alright, like, Nadine's all like, oh, I heard you were close with the Drake brothers, blah, blah, blah. You know, and Chloe's like, oh, I know Nate better than I know Sam, but all that
Yeah.
stuff. That's fine, but then there's bits when it's like, you get out of the car and she's like, oh, you sure you're getting out? Okay. You know what I mean? It's like, it feels like it's just been rushed in. It's a bit
There's
just a bit
Sam
weird.
Drake.
Oh my god.
Um,
Oh my god. Oh god.
cool, I
Any-
think that's a great place to move on.
Yeah, let's move on there. Yeah, so normally at this point we would do some spiel about how you can find us at 9 o'clock every Wednesday on YouTube, but that's no longer after this podcast. Emotional. And then we talk about the news and some releases this week, but we're not going to. So,
We talked
We're
about
gonna-
releases last week. If you want to hear about
did.
releases for the whole year.
yes, yeah, that was an uber long podcast about releases.
Uber long.
And this week we're going to talk about all of our top 50 games. There's been
50.
50 games in there. There's been
Wow!
five of us nominating games. Mike and Darren aren't here, obviously. It's just the three of us. But
What
we'll
are
talk about-
they?
May they
What about
rest
their
in
game?
peace.
we'll talk about their games first. Mike nominated Persona 4 Golden into the top 50.
He did.
Um,
And a damn good nomination that was, because I would have done it if he hadn't. An amazing JRPG. Probably like the best JRPG of this decade.
it's the one that I've not played much of, but what I have played of I've enjoyed. I know Laura's probably the same. You've not finished it, have you, Laura?
I've played slight more than Squiggy, that's all I know.
Obviously thrown that
That's
one
all
in
I
there.
know.
Thrown that
Yeah,
one
I
in
am.
It's
Yeah,
just...
you started this podcast with Dick, because I'm going down with this shit.
It was cool
But
how
yeah,
it...
it's okay.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it was cool how it
Right.
became like the representative game of the Vita. Like, you don't really tend to see a JRPG representing the platform, but with you ask people, they're a Vita game, they'll probably go Persona 4 Golden.
And then I'd be weird and be like, Danganronpa!
I mean, yeah, there were other ones, but Persona 4
Oh,
Golden
I'm
became,
not
like,
denying it. I
the
think Persona
standard
4
bearer.
Golden was the pioneer. Everyone went on about it. If, like, even me and Squiggy, you didn't finish it or whatever, we still owned it at one
Yeah.
point before it went on PS Plus. I'm pretty sure it went on PS Plus, right?
Don't
I
think
imagine
so.
that. Oh, okay, something.
It's been on sale like a lot of times.
Oh, it was on. It was the it was the PS sale they did, and then PS Plus. You know when you get the extra discount. That's what I'm thinking of. Carry on. And it went dirt cheap. It was like if you didn't have it, did you really have a Vita? Even if it's not your type of game, it was like the game you're like, oh, maybe I'll try it because everyone loves it. But
Mike's favourite game, my second favourite, very deserving to be on this list.
Yeah, definitely. And then we'll go on to Darren's nominations. Darren nominated World of Warcraft.
It makes sense, like the MMO that revolutionised the field.
I was going to make sense. Darren would nominate World of Warcraft.
Wow, rude. I mean, yeah, but hey, like I think we would all agree, like World of Warcraft definitely deserves a place, and like
it was defining.
Yeah.
I mean, if you went up to people in the street and said, "Name me 10 game series or game franchises," I generally feel World of Warcraft would be named by 9 out of 10 people.
Yeah.
It's been ever present.
It's the one everyone's heard of as well. It's
In fact, it's still going as well. Like 13 years later, I think we are now.
And it's still got a decent subscriber.
I think it's still got the most of the three.
It's still on about what 6-7 million, is it?
I can't remember the exact number, but I'm pretty sure it's still beating Guild Wars and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, definitely. And
well, if you want to play that sort of game, the one to go to is World of Warcraft. Like this is less so with us, but I think you two may have done this at one point. It's something you get out of, then get back into, play a lot of, get out of.
I've not played loads of it, but what I have played, I've enjoyed. It's one of them where I don't want to spend the monthly subscription fee because I play a lot of other games, but for people who only focus on 2 or 3 games through the year, $8.99 for World of Warcraft per month is a bargain. It's still $8.99, isn't it?
Let's go with yes. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's still it's still great value for money for what everything you can do on there. And if you are properly into it with guilds and raiding and dailies and whatever else, it is a brilliant game, and I can see why it is on there. It's not really my cup of tea as a long-term game, but yeah, I can see why people appreciate it. And Darren's other game was Banjo-Kazooie.
I completely forgot we put this in. But...
Great choice, to be fair. I would probably say it's up there with my favourite rare games go. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I was trying to think. I was going to say my favourite, but then I think there's another game on the list that I probably slightly just prefer because it's more my type of genre.
As far as I'm aware, there's one other rare game on this list.
Yeah. And it's that one that I prefer. It's the one that I nominated that we'll be talking about in a bit. Yes. But this is normally, I think Slazo probably think up platformers and stuff generally don't come across as my type of game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Based on how Gears went, there was a bit. But basically, Banjo-Kazooie defines that sort of, this isn't a genre for me. I loved Banjo and Kazooie as a kid. I loved it when it, getting it again through Rare Replay and stuff like that. It's something, that's how amazing it is, that even though I didn't think, it's not my, it's not the type of genre I go to for my fun, but I loved it.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing I can say about it.
I'm with you. I personally feel it was like in that era where 3D platformers were starting to like find themselves. I feel it was the best of those, so I put it ahead of like Crash 1, Spyro 1, Mario 64. I think it was a really, really good game that did a lot more than you ever expected it to do. So.
Yeah, and it was one of my favourite N64 games as well, back in the day. And yeah, I think it got on with no question or qualms at all from anyone because of how good of a game was it back then, and the fact that people still really want a proper sequel to Banjo-Tooie.
And you got one. It's called Nuts and Bolts.
But like I said, a proper one.
A
proper one.
Hater.
I mean, I'm low with it as well because I didn't play it in the N64 days, but like even when playing it on like Xbox Live Arcade, it still held up perfectly fine. So it's like,
yeah, no, I've still played it on the Rare Replay collection and stuff as well, and it was the first game I played on the Rare Replay.
Oh.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's 3 games we've been through. Now we'll move on to
47
Laura's.
to go.
Yeah, we'll move on to Laura's list of games now, and we'll start with the first ever game into the top 50, I believe.
It was.
Which was Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Right. I love Time Splitters. This is basically, I started with what I love. This is, logically, I'm going to be honest, before we go into the game specifically, I feel like there was tactics developed between everyone about making sure they got their games in.
Yep.
As went on and you tried to think of games.
I'm going to go through my list.
But I feel like when I was starting my first few nominations particularly, it was definitely like series that I really enjoyed and games I really, loved. And you know what I mean? I wasn't looking to this game. You know what I mean? When we're doing it, this is generally just one of my favourite games of all time. I believe there was an argument whether I should have nominated Time Splitters 2, which I was... I generally remember that just because I'm like... at the end of the day, I love all the Time Splitters games.
I was listening to this podcast the other day.
Yeah, there was a little bit like thing, but I would love to say the range of characters, the cast of characters is something that stands out for me. Just how fun the multiplayer was, and which is really weird because obviously online play was included, but on the PS2 and Xbox, more so on the Xbox, it was easier to do because I feel like it was really awkward to play online with your PlayStation 2.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I remember playing on the Xbox Live actually.
I remember having a friend round every day on this one and just being like, I feel like even though it was an online play, because I was fine playing with AI and bots, just us two as the humans, and that's how good it was. Like, you know what I mean? Playing Infection, and I was happy to play with AI. Because if you asked me to play an online game of, a game mode like that now with AI, I'd probably say, what's the point? But yeah, the Infection, Flame Tag, stuff that could be in games now but isn't, fun, creative modes. Seizo spoke about Gears when we were playing it not being creative or trying some ideas and really not going through with them. Time Splitters was a series that seemed to try different ideas, particularly in its multiplayer modes.
Yes.
And they really pulled off, and I think lots of games have been inspired by it, and a lot of stuff has come from it. I mean, it even had a map maker. How ahead of its time.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I feel Time Splitters 2 has the slightly better multiplayer, but as the overall package, Future Perfect, because it also has the single player, which gets overlooked a lot of the time.
It's
the
not
single
just
player of Future Perfect was the best in the Time Splitters.
I love the single player
Yeah.
of Future Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's what helped make me go ahead of where it was.
Yes.
To be fair, but it depends. Let's be honest, I put way too many hours into both. I mean, I got good grades at school, but man, if I didn't have Time Splitters in my life, God, how good could they be? I used to spend hours on this.
Youth.
I know, right? Don't regret it though, because Time Splitters was sick. That's why it's in the list.
Yeah, no, I love both of them as well, and I think I played a lot more multiplayer of Time Splitters 2, but I enjoyed the single player a lot in Future Perfect and the multiplayer as well. And I think you made a good choice.
Thank you. Do you want me to move on so you can tell me bad choices that come in? Is that what you want to do?
That'll be Slazo to judge.
Okay.
The next one is Sims 3.
Right, let's be honest. Out of you two, like Darren picked World of Warcraft, that's what he knows or whatever. I love simulation games and stuff like this, and Sims obviously is the one of its kind. And I picked Sims 3 because we don't want to talk about Sims 4. I know you made me talk about it last week or the week before because they're adding pets.
We did actually,
but
yeah.
we don't actually talk about Sims. That's like a new rule for this last podcast. We don't mention it. Like, that's it. Done. Right. Sims 3 is the ultimate Sims. It was the idea originally that put forward the original Sim game was amazing, and this perfected it with like neighbours aging. So when you play one house, another house is actually developing by itself, and getting married, having kids, building, creating Sims at its best.
Yeah,
Any arguments for this?
No, I feel like it's never a franchise I've gone into. I tried The Sims 1 and couldn't do it, and then kind
It's
of
like
moved
one of
on.
those things.
But I
it's for you,
appreciate
it's you.
that it has like a massive following of people who really enjoy it, and it's the peak of its genre.
Yeah, and it's also one of the best-selling PC games of all time as well.
Yeah,
Cannot
it appeals to
believe that.
so many people.
Yeah.
The one thing I like about Sims, this is nothing to do with the game, but you know how the company that obviously developed it originally, Maxis.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I just love the fact that it took, when I found out why they're called Maxis, was the fact that they thought of the Sims at 6 a.m. in the morning and they decided just to put 6 a.m. backwards. That is
I've
like
never
a
even
weird...
thought of that.
Yeah, that's actually why they're called Maxis. It's like nothing, that's it. Because the idea came to them at 6 a.m. in the morning, so they made their company name 6 a.m. backwards. Such a weird fact that it just stuck with me. But nothing to do with the game, just saying. Weird facts. That's what I think.
That is interesting. That is quite cool. I like that. But yeah, Sims 3 was a great game, and another game we've sort of spoke about a little bit just earlier is Gears of War.
Right, here's the thing. When Slazo sent through the recap of the 50 list, because it's been a while since I've, glared at the list, to be honest, it has dawned on me, why did I not say Gears of War 2? I feel I did mess up here. I wanted the Gears of War franchise represented, because
Didn't I make that argument?
One of
You
us would have
did,
made
and-
the argument.
I think I made that argument.
It was made, at the end of the day, I'm just happy that Gears of War is represented in our top 50. It is one of my favourite franchises. It's literally the justification of what I play most of the time for this year, when I haven't really been gaming that much. I find its pick up and play value great.
I was going to say, why do you... Like, I know with shooting, you always champion Gears as, like, your shooting game. Why do you go to Gears over Halo, Destiny, the rest?
Oh, well... I don't know why, but it's so weird. I was gonna say it's like the closest thing to time splitters I have, but that's not true at all. It's not true at all. No, I'm trying to think. It's in the sense, right? That gives me the same feeling that I could just boot up time splitters and play one game and enjoy it, like a quick game.
Yeah.
I find I get that more with Gears. I don't know why. Even if I play a quick game of Halo, I feel like I've been there all day. I don't know if that's because I get bored of the scenery and stuff, but Gears I feel was more frantic. Maybe because the maps are small. It might be a map design thing. It's not. I'm not saying it's like time splitters before you freak out, Slazer. It's just that same feeling that I can just pick up and play when I haven't got a lot of time. It's the feeling.
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean, but
I don't know why.
I get that from Call of Duty, whereas I can just it's one of those games where if I've got 20 minutes free, I'm like, oh, I'll just play a game of Call of Duty.
Yeah, well, I don't get that with Call of Duty. I just get it with Gear. I don't know what it is. It might be the style of maps. It might be whatever. I mean, I prefer a third-person shooter. I'm trying to think of reasons why I champion Gears. I just kind of like the whole style of it. I don't know what it is today, so if I could put my finger on it, then I would have probably ended up not playing Judgment. Because then I would have been like, that's not for me. Jokes. That's all I got on Gears. I regret not putting in 2 because it had the superior story. And
they had that emotional moment. Which
oh, yeah, okay. Emotional. Yeah, that emotional moment with Dom. It's more... I guess it's also the fact that it was the peak. The multiplayer was perfect in 2, really. And then 3 didn't really add much to it. I probably should have picked 2. And I regret that. Well, but this is the reason I bought an Xbox 360, which always plays on my mind, because I'd saved up for so long to get a Nintendo Wii. This is when I was buying my own consoles, which I do since then.
I was going to say, we're back when I did that.
No, as in the Wii was
Laura
my first...
steals them now.
No, the Nintendo Wii was the first console I bought myself, right? That I'd saved up, you know, money in that. And it had just come out, but I ended up buying... I say it was first, but technically it was meant to be my first. And basically the month before the Wii launched, I thought I got really I saw a trailer for Gears of War and how you could play online multiplayer really easy and stuff like that, and I knew a few people with it, and I ended up going and buying an Xbox 360, and I bought it with Gears in mind because it looked amazing, and I generally thought I'd end up being disappointed. You know how you build games up, especially if you go get a console for one.
Yes.
You're like, it's never going to deliver. But for Gears of War 1 never let me down, which is probably why I had it in my mind instead of 2.
Fair enough.
I think that's probably... If you can say a game justified a console purchase, you know you enjoyed it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you, Laura.
Thank you. It's just everyone's deadly silent. This freaks me out. I'm like, I'm scared.
I agree with you. I agree. Your next game was Red Dead Redemption.
Right, this is obvious, guys. I don't
even think it needs to be said. Like, I've not played it, but used to loved it.
It was like how.
What?
No, Slazer hasn't.
I've barely played it, mate.
Sorry, it was Darren.
Darren or Mike, whoever was on.
Yeah. Sorry, Slazer. I assumed you played games.
I've played co-op a little with Laura and co, and in 4 that was alright. But I never got into the single player. But Laura, take it away.
The story's really epic. I mean, we talk about how they're from makers of GTA, obviously Rockstar. It was like, how can they ever beat something like GTA? Well, setting it as a Western and basically adding a more... We talk about how... Slave's going to shout at me. How critically panned the GTA 4 story is. Right? But... Oh, I thought you liked GTA 4 for some reason. Was that not?
What?
Oh, no, it's the one you hate, sorry. Because it was your first GTA.
It's my first GTA experience, and that was what I got.
It's Mike who says I'm too harsh on GTA 4.
Okay.
I apologise.
Because I hate it as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Because he said you should go back and play it because it aged, but not the point. Anyway, Red Dead Redemption managed to do... Whether because it was a Western and Western stories are, you know, a tale as old as time, to steal the Beauty and the Beast line for some reason. Thank you. Their story, this basically gave you like a GTA-esque experience in a whole different environment that GTA hadn't touched, to the GTA quality levels, because obviously GTA well renowned, but it managed to deliver a story that cared about, that had a lovely twist at the end that I personally didn't see coming. If people said they saw it coming, like, well done to them, but obviously, spoiler alert, are you two going to ever play it, or can I do the spoiler alert?
Bang, my baby shot me down.
Yeah. John Marston obviously dies, the player you're playing as. at the end, and then you do a mission as his son getting revenge. It was kind of a really shocking moment because obviously you don't expect to see the character you're playing as die in a cutscene, and you're like, but that's me. So the story was really good. It felt like a journey. You could put hours into it. The multiplayer that Slazer refers to was fun. Probably had more fun on that than any GTA game multiplayer, which is a little harsh because I know the latest GTA did multiplayer better than 4 did, but I still would say Red Dead Redemption's multiplayer was way better, and I look forward to seeing if the follow-up that comes out next year after it was delayed even, can actually deliver an even better experience, and if we had a top 50 next year, they might have knocked it out, who knows. Carry on. That's Red Dead.
Fair enough. Then you moved on to Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Once again, I picked a game in the series that got arguments about whether I was picking the right game in the series. I generally love New Leaf. I think it had everything and more that this was the one for me. If you like Animal Crossing, I thought this was the best one, and Animal Crossing deserves a place because it's such a unique experience, an addictive experience. I think we've all had different times here when we've binged Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Like, it's a game you get addicted to. You check in on your daily flicking village. You're like, oh no, Susan, her name's not, there's no one called Susan, people, hypothetically. There might be. It's like, oh no, Susan's moving. And then you get excited, you're like, oh no, not Susan. Or you don't talk to someone because you're like, I don't like blah blah, so you move and you get a better villager in and you're like, yeah!
Yeah,
and then,
it's weird how, like,
great.
Nintendo's take on SimCity, almost in some ways, except...
Yeah.
Maybe
But
that's
without
not the right... Yeah,
No,
because
simply without the natural disasters or power crazy
management
tycoon.
or anything,
Yeah,
but-
the tycoon factors.
Yeah, it's not... New Leaf isn't my go-to one. I think I was the one who opposed it and said, no, you should pick this one, but New Leaf has the most in it, and has probably the best player engagement of all of them, so yeah, I can't argue this. Animal Crossing deserves it for the, like, sheer amount of people it brought in, like, especially in the DS era, where a lot of people, like, who only own Brain Training and a couple of other games, like Nintendogs, would probably own Animal Crossing. And yeah, it's
I was
resonated
that
with
person.
people. Yeah,
I
it
was that
resonated
person,
with
Slazer.
people in a way I probably never expected it would.
Yeah, I mean, I played the GameCube one as well.
Yes.
And the GameCube got me into playing the DS one and so on and so on. So yeah, I think that was a good game to put in, to be honest.
You know what's really surprising with it, and I probably say that we say about content, you said it's the one the most in it. There's still not overly a lot to do, because obviously that's why you get bored of it and then don't go back to it again. I always remember finding it funny how excited it was to go visit other people's towns. Yeah. But really, it was always going to look a certain... There wasn't much customization in terms of what they would look like.
New Leaf is where you started getting more variants in time.
There was more, but I wouldn't say it was overly like, oh my god, it's so exciting to go see someone else's place now in hindsight.
You're on about you go get their fruit, you mug them for their fruit.
You go mug them for their fruit, but come on, that's like, you know what I mean. If they ever, do another Animal Crossing, and I don't mean a shitty spin-off that rips off Mario Party, I would love to see more customization. Or Happy Home Design. I would love if they take the elements that you can how you can design your home.
I mean, I
and
talked
put
about
it in
I
the actual
actually talked about it inside my own Switch. I do expect there to be an Animal Crossing on the Switch at some point because
it has to be.
It's a portable system, so why wouldn't you put an Animal Crossing on it?
Yeah, I wanted one announced at E3. I was a bit sad that I didn't.
Patience, I feel it's coming. I just not yet.
I mean, New Leaf was like the second biggest selling one in the franchise. Actually, like 11 million copies. Was like that's. I don't know how much Wild World sold because that was the
13,
biggest one. But
I think.
But like, yeah, so ahead of that. But basically, like when you got numbers like that and that helped shift the system in the Nintendo DS, then it would be so stupid not to help shift the Switch even more by putting it on the.
I feel it's coming. I just feel because Nintendo are focusing more on multiplayer at the moment that Animal Crossing is probably like a 2018, 2019.
I'm going to be honest. They may be waiting for me to get money so I can get it day one. That might be the limited edition Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch.
You can play it on your mobile device in the meantime, whenever that.
There is that.
Out.
Yes, that got delayed though as well. So I was really happy about the delay there. Yay!
Fair enough. And then you moved on to a very popular game, GoldenEye.
My favourite Rare game. This is the one I was referring to when I was talking about Banjo-Kazooie. Literally, I love shooters. We're going to obviously see on the list, see above, see whatever. Look around.
There's plenty to come, lads.
Yeah, like let's be honest. This is
my list.
One of my favourite games on Nintendo 64. The whole Golden Gun mode. Like I said, I really like a variety of modes when I play multiplayer. I appreciate it even more now because I think some shooters, I'm not even throwing this at Gears of War because they have actually tried with dodgeball and stuff like that. But stuff like when Halo took out Warthog Racing and that, whatever it's called. What's the one with the bike?
Rocket Race.
Rocket Race, thank you. That I used to love because I like a little bit of mix up from just having team deathmatch and that. Why this is a standard game, I always loved the idea of Golden Gun mode because there was nothing that shook me up and scared me more than walking around a corner knowing a Golden Gun was in play. And I didn't have it. Even though it was like a 4-player split screen and I could technically be that person that looks at other people's screens, which I never did because it takes away the adrenaline.
Don't lie, Laura, you were that person. You did it.
I don't. I like the adrenaline, to be honest, Squiggy. I probably should. I would have probably screamed less. But I love that as a mode, and I really love the campaign. Bond will always have a special place. I really liked the Bond movies as a kid, and we talk about how we could argue whether movie tines. There was a time when movie tines was like the word you used to describe bargain bin shit. There was, but this was before that, and it really felt worthwhile, and it was a really cool thing to be able to be James Bond in a game and feel like James Bond. So.
No,
yeah.
I agree. Yeah, and it's a shame the way the Bond franchise of games sort of went.
It went drastically.
That's the thing. Like the ones that came after, like on the GameCube, PS2, Xbox, they were okay, but they were no GoldenEye.
Yeah, there was a few okay, and then there was a few absolutely. Please don't make me ever play again. The notion they tried to do something different by using the GoldenEye brand when they did GoldenEye Rogue, I believe it was called.
Yes.
When you were the bad one, that was probably the low for me because that was just so bad, and it was just used the name GoldenEye. I mean, I really enjoyed Nightfire on the GameCube. I will say
Nightfire as well.
Nightfire was a personal favourite, but nothing come close to this in terms of whatever. I mean, I still have my GoldenEye 007 Remake. Get it? Remake.
Yes.
That came with the golden controller, which is sitting next to me that I use for Mario Kart. So
I feel like it's between this and Spider-Man 2 for the best movie tie-in game ever made.
I think that's fair. The only thing is they kind of diverse from the plot. I think the bits that are good in GoldenEye 7 aren't 007 even aren't the ones in the film, if that makes sense. It's where they've been liberal with creative, which is why I think Spider-Man 2 maybe does a little bit of a better job. Because I think it's a little bit more truer to the original material. But that's just me. But that's Spider-Man 2 already in the list, spoiler alert.
I was going to say that, but GoldenEye's the one everyone comes back to for the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely. Another multiplayer game is next, and that is Left 4 Dead 2.
Yes, I was actually listening to the Witch theme recently. Don't ask, because it's a story behind why I was listening to it. But when someone linked me it, and it was a conversation about something completely different, but when they linked it to me and I heard that noise, I literally, in your mind when you get transported back to that, sort of I could see the witch and remember thinking it was like, oh my god, guys! No. This game was absolutely simplistic in concept, but delivered such a fun multiplayer experience. I still wish for now.
Yeah,
I think that's how I describe it.
To me, it is the best cooperative game ever made. Full stop. There are games which have cooperative, but Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, but 2 even more so, is really kind of built with cooperation as the core tenet of the gameplay.
Yeah.
You can't imagine doing it. I mean, you could play it single player with the AI. But
it was horrible alone though, because the AI was so thick.
But it's such a game so designed around cooperative, and you just don't see that anywhere. So.
Yeah, I remember I got this game for Christmas in 2009, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, I would have got it for Christmas 2009, and I played it Christmas Day, Boxing Day, the day after, all the way up until I went back to school, basically. Because I was hooked on it. We did the single player campaign pretty much straight away. There's 4 of us doing it,
right.
And I think there's one of them where you've got to go through the fields.
Yes, the sugar fields. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sugar fields.
And obviously there was a witch in there, wasn't there?
I think there's loads in that one. I think that's the campaign where they stick a whole bunch of witches.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can imagine that.
I watched a video.
I had no the rest of that level is a nightmare for me, but the field I never had any problems with. I always walked out the other end and you're like, where is everyone? And,
Guys,
there's anarchy going on in the field. And I'm like, how do I miss this?
I made it through, and then all I hear is someone else going, "There's a witch nearby. There's a witch nearby. There's a witch nearby." So obviously, you think, "Well, I should go and help them."
No.
Don't,
Not with the
don't,
witch.
That never
Don't.
crossed my mind.
don't
mate.
go and help them, because
was
then
a
the witch will
co-
appear out of nowhere next to you, and you will scream down the headset.
You say it's a co-op game, but if I was like near the end, like at the end, and I'm safe, and it's like I'm thinking that person wants me to be safe.
Yeah,
That's basically
they're
that
big.
person's wished me to be safe. So
Yeah, but no, Left 4 Dead 2, definite, brilliant game, deserved to be on the list. Another sequel is next on your list, Laura,
I'm all about the twos.
and that's Mass Effect 2.
This was Mass Effect at its best. I can say that wholeheartedly, knowing what
What
Andromeda
are you on
turned
about?
into.
Andromeda's a master.
Don't step to me, right? But one laid down the formation and set the choices and made a really good start, but it could use some improvement on controls and the way it was, and the accessibility of menus and stuff. 2 delivered and perfected everything, and it was just, you felt like you were playing a classic when you played 2. We're not going to talk about 3 was probably
3, okay,
Free-
alright.
free-
Like, 3 is a great game, it just has
Free
a bad
tweets on
ending.
yeah, that's the thing
Yeah.
I was going to say. 3
Yeah.
does do a lot of what 2 does, but, you know, even more improvements. Not enough improvements for me to say that it, like, this was the argument of that 2 is where, how much did it actually improve? I think 3 improved, but maybe not enough to be like, whoa, I'm shocked by how much this has changed. But then 3's also helped, you know, get minus points for that ending. It's in your mind, you can't help it. But when I went and played Mass Effect 3 for the second time, I will say it was probably a better journey knowing that I was going to be disappointed by the ending. Do you know what I mean? I've already suffered.
Yeah.
The journey was fine. But Mass Effect 2 to me, I liked it. I mean, Squiggy liked Miranda, so I feel like that was an easy one to get in at the time with that ass.
Where Laura, do not objectify women on my podcast, please.
I believe that's what you nicknamed her once. You literally, I swear I've had a conversation with you when you
Gonna say,
forgot her
Squiggy,
name.
You're about 92 episodes late on this one.
Yeah, you literally, forgot her
I'm
name.
about 5 years late on this one as well.
But yeah, so it was fun, great cast of characters, great interaction, great dialogue. Basically, everything felt important and everything felt worthwhile when you're talking to characters and learning their backstories. Something that probably Andromeda...
Backstories?
Yeah, backstories.
I like learning about Miranda's backstory.
That was terrible. That was
Look, there's
terrible.
one this is the last podcast. This is why we're ending.
Okay, but basically, when you play Andromeda, some of the characters on the 5 hours I played, you feel empty talking to them. I don't care. They just waffle. It's like they're reading a book at me that I don't have information I don't need to know. But in Mass Effect 2, they got the connection right. They got the way they told it. You wanted
They
to know
feel
more,
real.
basically. Yeah, that's basically it. It was great writing, to be honest, for me, and that's probably why I put it on my list, because it's an RPG, obviously, and it's not the sort of game I dabble in that often. But Mass Effect's probably one of my favourite games of all time, series, even if number 3 sucked, and 2 was the best for me. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I think it was close between 2 and 3 for me, and I think 2 because of the characters introduced in 2, not just Miranda. The other
Yeah.
ones as well.
And then, no,
don't know their
3,
names.
yeah, 3, it was nice being reunited. Fane was a character.
Then is it Jack?
Yeah, Jack.
Yeah.
She fell out with Miranda, surprised you remembered her name.
Oh, I like Jack as a character. I thought she was very
Yeah.
interesting.
I wonder who you sided with when they clashed in an argument. Oh, sorry, Miranda. Did Jack upset you? Get off my ship, Jack.
Pretty much how it went. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it was great and cool. Mass Effect 2.
Yeah. Good game. Your next game, Laura, was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
I'm going to say Grand Theft Auto, I mean, we mentioned it, Red Dead Redemption, Grand GTA is one of the most well-done series over the years. Like, it always tends to deliver, bar 4, which is arguably a little blip, depending on your take. Because it made it made it too dark and too serious, and
It was just boring.
Everyone was-
That my problem with GTA
Yeah,
4.
that was
People
the thing, they
hyped up this massive crazy shooter game where
And
drugs
they
and
made
stuff
it
fly, and Gears of War
gritty
4 is
and-
gritty and...
just,
Just
it
a
takes
storm.
out...
Hey,
Hey,
Nico.
Nico!
Want to go bowling?
Anytime, Nico, anytime. But, yeah,
Not
San
anytime.
Andreas... anytime. San Andreas, I think, is the best GTA for me. It had a lot of stuff in it. There's a lot of stuff in it that's not in the current GTA still. I don't know why, it's just choices they made, like the whole, go to the gym and get in shape muscle thing, and, bike skills, driving skills, shooting skills, the whole skill system. San Andreas is also a nice variety place, like the forest bit, the town bit. I just generally everything about it. The missions are really fun as well. Obviously, look, we're down memory lane. One of the articles I actually read and replayed all the GTA.
I was gonna say, yeah, you did this for our site. You played the PS3, PS2 trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically playing through it, I remember liking Vice City as a kid, but not being overly keen on it. I was more keen on it when I revisited, going appreciating the stuff. GTA 3 I used to love because of the story. That was my first big GTA, really. And I used to think GTA 3 was the best, but then when I played in San Andreas and I got to see how much actual content was in that game and how many things I would probably take from it now and put in the new I was like, yeah, okay, this hands down is the pinnacle of the series. Hands down. And what a series it is.
Yeah, it stands atop of gaming, and San Andreas is one of the many reasons why.
Yeah.
I think you can have preferences. Like I said,
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Like, some people will say 3's the best, some people say Vice City's the best, some people will say San Andreas, some people will say 5. So yeah,
no one says 4.
No one says 4. If anyone says 4, then they're idiots. But yeah, no, I think I think all 3 of the PS2 Grand Theft Auto games probably could be on the list. If it was a top 100,
I don't know, man. We got rid of Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah. I think if it was a top 100.
Yes.
I think they'd all be on that list because of how good they are. And the setting of San Andreas did go a long way into probably keeping that in putting that in the top 50 as well. The setting, the story, and just everything it added as well. And
bigger, better.
Yeah, and more badass. Next on the list, Laura, is a game that Slazo loves.
Loves it.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
I love Sonic. I love Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I think it's the best Sonic of its time at that, 16-bit cartridge of fun on the Mega Drive. Slazer, I'm just waiting for Slazer to argue something so I can retaliate, because I know how much he hates 2D Sonic.
This is positivity, say what you want.
Okay, it's the best 2D Sonic for me.
Cool.
Music, levels, on point.
Look, let me put it this way. Yeah, I don't like Sonic, but millions of people do, so, and, this is probably the most popular one. So, yeah, sure. It deserves a place on there.
I like 2. 2 is probably my favourite as well.
Just because I don't get it doesn't mean it doesn't deserve to be on the list.
But yeah, I think we couldn't have this list without Sonic, basically. And I tried to pick the best
completely.
one. Yeah.
It was either this and Knuckles, and I think Sonic 2.
I liked Sonic and Knuckles as well, but I think Sonic 2 was probably better.
Not gonna lie, I don't go into because I actually like Sonic Heroes, Sonic Rush, and Sonic.
I like Sonic Heroes.
I
wouldn't put it on top 50 list, but I enjoy Sonic Heroes.
My favourite Sonic series, actually, because I went with this one because it is the most popular, and I really did like it. Don't get me wrong, but I actually have probably had more fun on Sonic Advance 2, and Sonic Advance 3.
I mean, those games and Sonic Rush were kind of what the Sonic fandom went to next, and then Colors, and then Generations, and then
I didn't realise how much. I didn't realise how much a Sonic fan I was till I went through the list of Sonic games. I was like, played it. Oh no!
I'm surprised how many Sonic games I've played as well, and watched the TV show. And
hey man, I mean, it's got nothing to do with this, but if you're not watching Sonic Boom is amazing because it's just full on parody and jokes. And Sonic gets a speeding ticket, and he says, "I mean, I'll protest it in court, but I don't think they accept gotta go fast as an excuse."
I'm not gonna lie. I think I saw the clip when someone was saying he was a writer on the show, but it's so disappointing because they sneak things in and his friends of his age don't watch it. And it was about Amy Rose stepping up to take a penalty kick.
Right.
And it was some line about her being a girl, and Knuckles come out saying, "Just because she's a girl."
Yeah.
And they all turn and look at him, and he's like, "What? I'm not. I'm
just
a feminist or something." He said.
Feminist,
yeah. And it was like,
it's just somebody
okay.
online is like, "Oh yeah, Speedster is my middle name. I thought it was the."
Yes, I've seen that as well. Yeah. Okay. Sonic.
Yeah, good choice there. Next was Journey.
I think Journey stands alone, and what it did, it was kind of that whole "is it a game? Is it not a game?" sort of genre. I know, you know what I mean. It's the argument of
it's iconic, and it's
the art style, amazing. What you do? Have you not played it?
I mean, no, yes.
Are you serious?
I've never played Journey either.
Okay, and the music by Austin Wintory.
You can do it, yeah, Austin Wintory. Well done, Laura. I'm proud.
Thank you. Thank you. Is obviously a big
Impressive.
thing of the game, and it's really important to the game, the soundtrack, and it's an experience. I still say it is a game and everything, but if you want to argue it is an experience you must play if you had that console. The PS3, I think. Yeah, PS3. And it obviously released on PS4.
Some PS4, yeah.
It's really re-released and everything. There's no excuse not to go play it. At the end of the day, if you're unsure about it, try it. It's really cheap. It's fun. It's a really relaxing thing to play, and it breaks up from all this world filled with car games and shooters, if that's what you end up playing a lot of.
No, it's a game that I want to play. It looks good. I've heard good things about it. It deserves to be on the top 50, definitely.
For sure.
But just not go around and playing it. Your next game, Laura, was a little yellow person called Pac-Man.
Yeah, don't watch his TV series. Watch Sonic, don't watch his.
Waka.
Waka waka! Oh no. Oh no. Oh, my mind's got blank. Pac-Man, how can you... Yeah, I mean, it's timeless classic. I don't feel I have to argue this much. You can play Pac-Man now and have as much fun as you did when it was first... Well, I mean, we weren't alive. When it was... as people did when it was first
As our
released.
parents probably did.
Yeah, everyone can play it. It's fun. You can do a competitive thing where you try to beat each other's scores. It's just literally so simple, so great. I don't think I need to argue why this is in my top 50.
Yeah,
Or our top 50.
it's one of the endearing like classic games that everyone got into back in the day and still holds up now. And I mean, heck, you have like cool modern variants. Like, is it 256?
Pac-Man Championship DX, Pac-Man
256.
Championship DX2, 256. Race
Pac
like
Picks. I love Pac Picks.
Yeah,
I will
Pac
always
Picks is
champion
cool.
that.
Yeah, I know Pac-Man's a character in Mario Kart with legs. He creeps me out with legs. I don't like Pac-Man with legs. That's probably my only rule with Pac-Man. Pac-Man
He
shouldn't
was?
have. He's in the
he's in the arcade one, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, Mario Kart Arcade GP,
GP,
or whatever it's
yeah.
called. Yeah. He's in that. It's creepy. He shouldn't have legs. But I love Pac-Man, so go.
Yeah, good choice. Next was Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Weeaboo.
It's a
see you.
weeaboo. I want some weeaboo representation. Clearly, obviously, I thought Danganronpa would be an uphill battle, so I went for the one that really was like the mainstream weeaboo.
Yeah.
It helped put it out there for everyone. Like at the end of the day, I never saw when you use the word weeaboo, but I didn't really see it as weeaboo because everyone was saying it.
No, don't get me wrong.
That's
Like,
the thing.
loads. I was surprised how big this franchise got.
It was huge. It's so cool being a lot. I think it's like such an untapped in an era on that console where everyone had those like job games. I'm talking like Cooking Mama,
Cooking Mama, Gardening Mama.
Right. You know what's a cool job? Being an attorney, and it was just an actual fun game, investigate crime, quirky character cast, fun to play. Everyone could love it, whether it was from Japan or not.
I mean,
Right.
like, it worked well with the DS, but I feel it just helped that everything was, like, turned up to 11 with the whole, like, objection, overruled nonsense, and all the characters.
Yeah.
Really kind of elevated what could just be an alright game to a people freaking love this game.
Yeah, I think you could put this on a video game timeline as something when changed, like the start of that. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it changed. It's probably the most played visual novel, I'd say. Or visual novel style game.
Yes. Because it's like it's like a very interactive visual novel.
Yeah. What's the
That's
thing? I know
right.
some people, like, on things go, oh, it's not, like, in Danganronpa, they're not true visual novels, because there's too much gameplay, and it's like, who cares? It's
You
mostly
and your
text.
games. Yeah, it's visual novel plus, or whatever
Yeah.
you like to call it. Yeah, best one out there. Easy.
Never played it.
Should.
Want to play it, so yeah. Your next game was Counter-Strike.
This was more why I put it in because of Counter-Strike being so defining. Like, it's huge. I don't think any of us could deny how popular it is.
Well, I think I was
How-
the one going for, like, why not CS Source?
Yeah, and I was there going, but Counter-Strike, it's a like multiplayer first-person shooter, was huge, objective-based, blah blah blah. Loads of people played it. It's really simple in what it does, but it did it so well, and there will never be anything like that again, probably. In that terms of
Overwatch.
its franchise, as in its franchise. I didn't mean
Fortress
as
2.
in. Okay, I meant like Counter-Strike. Any follow-ups? That's the pinnacle of
CS
the Counter.
Source.
Basically,
Okay,
there's not going to be a Counter-Strike 2.
Yeah, I just meant that's the pinnacle of the Counter-Strike series. That's why I picked
I'd
that
argue
one. So
Sources.
not. Okay. I'm just gonna go Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike
let's be
is a very
honest.
cool shooting
Yeah.
franchise,
I
and this is
can't-
where it started.
Yeah, this is it. This is like that. This is great, right? That's all I wanted to say on that. I'm not gonna argue Overwatch in that because
It was
Overwatch
kind of
was
like
fun
one
when
of the
I
games that really... I
started.
want to say it
kickstarted
started off
trend.
esports, kind of. Was this
Yeah,
one like the
I
first
think-
big esports games?
I kind of put more of an inspirational stepping stone for esports because then it's because my next game I'm probably going to
Yeah.
argue a lot more. Yeah, if you look at my list. But yeah, this was like a stepping stone that's led to other things growing and esports and all that kind of lovely stuff. Let's go on, Squee. Introduce my last game.
Your last game is a massive game called League of Legends.
League of Legends. Here, I put it on because of what it does. How many millions of players of League of... I think everyone's tried League of Legends at least once, I would say. This is where Squiggy's like, no, I don't play it. No?
I don't play it.
Have you ever played it?
What, League of Legends?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, he's not
I
played
hate
Minecraft. What have you?
I'm just... Oh, God, man.
Can
Squiggy!
you remember this trip through the top 50
Oh,
where we nominated
I
these ultra
didn't.
popular games and Squee's like never
Yeah.
played it?
At the end of the day, I put this in there, obviously simple by name, but I put this in there more for its esports influences. Its competitive scene is literally so widespread. It is one of the ones that gets televised
Yes.
and coverage. I think it was on BT Sports a few weeks ago. I know Street Fighter's on BT Sports the weekend just gone when this podcast goes live, so fun. But this for me, I had to put it out there. It's just the thing is, I only played a little bit, and it's not my type of game. I get really like there's a lot to it. Like if you're good at it, you'll know a lot of stuff. I can't. Yeah, it's not. But I respect what it is for its franchise, its genre, and what it's done for esports. So that's why I nominated it. I can't really say many. I've not got fond memories of it.
That's fair. And I feel like this is the one that kind of really rebooted and helped relaunch the MOBA genre
the point
for a
now-
new generation. After this, you had Dota, Smite, and now like it's a whole fledged genre where you see a load of games like announced for it every year. So, but League of Legends was the one that restarted it all.
And it's still going strong now.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
It is. And that was all of your games, Laura. You had 15 in the top 50. We'll move on to my games next, and I started with BioShock. So, I loved BioShock. I loved the setting of Rapture. I loved the gameplay with all the different... Are they called Vigors? I can't remember. No, Plasmids. It was Vigors and the other one.
Yeah.
Infinite, yeah. I loved all of that. I loved the gameplay of the characters, loved the story. I just loved everything about it. I think it was a brilliant game, and I think it was a different game to come out back then. Like, it
At
was
the
still a
time,
first-person
yeah.
shooter, but yeah. Like, at the time, it was something completely different, and it was popular, and it was brilliant, and I've played it 4 or 5 times, I think, now.
That's insane.
And
Did
I
you get
still
the
love it.
HD one?
Yeah, I've got the HD one, but I've also got it on PC as well, so...
It's the one, I would probably say it's one of the games that really nailed atmosphere for games. Like,
Oh,
the atmosphere
yes.
it creates. I feel so intoxicated when I play it, like no other game.
If you were to name like iconic video game locations from the last 10 years or so, most people would
BioShock,
probably like
yeah.
Rapture would be one of them.
Rapture, but yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Rapture's definitely one. The whole setting of it, it's kind of like, but then the way the story unfolds about the place, like you don't get told about the story properly, like the actual backstory to Rapture. It's more in listening to the audio, what they're called, the audio diaries, I think it is. I don't know, I can't remember what they're called,
Audio
but
logs,
listening to them.
who knows?
Yeah, and it's like listening to them. It's something that it wasn't really done in.
Yeah,
Like-
this was before it became like the commonplace of we can't bother
Yeah.
to put story in, so to have some collectibles.
Yeah, but the way they did it was like you go around, you get more backstory, like, oh, it's a New Year party, oh, what happened here? And then the more you listen, the more you work out, and I just love it. Like the first encounter with a Big Daddy is up there with one of the best moments in game, and even the opening of the game, where you
The
go,
opening of the game, would you argue it's in the top 10 of opening of games ever? I know you like Metal Gear Solid 5's opening.
yeah, it's definitely top 10 for me. I love it. I even, like, at first I thought I was still watching a cutscene, and I thought, is my console crashed here? Because it just puts you into the water straight away, and then going in the bathysphere through Rapture, seeing everything, basically everything you see, you end up going to those places as well. And I loved it. Yeah. Have you both finished it?
Speaking of met me, I don't finish games.
I don't think I did. I think I got sick of it after a few hours. Not sick of
Oh,
it, that's the
no.
wrong word, but oh god. I went away from it and just didn't get back into it, and then I basically ended up just years later actually finishing Infinite's game when I was finishing Completion and loved. So,
You need
never know.
to play the original.
Yeah, I played it for like hours.
I was
sort
gonna
you
say,
out.
you
Bob.
ship
I'll
that
sort you
over
out.
to her. She'll ship you Quantum Break. There we go.
At this
no.
rate, I think it's going to be cheaper if I just go to Newcastle and give it to him.
Probably. Next on my list is Metal Gear Solid, the
Shock,
first one on the
Gas,
PlayStation.
horror.
I know.
Ah!
And to be perfectly honest, I could have put Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 into here. Metal Gear Solid 1 was a brilliant game on the PlayStation. The way it pushed the PlayStation 2 its limits to produce what it did. The boss battles were amazing. The soundtrack is incredible. The voice acting is brilliant. The only part I don't like is a little bit of backtracking in it, but I love the game. I love the story.
I love how that he physically sounded in pain when he had to say a negative. Like, you heard the...
Yeah.
If I had
But-
to.
I mean, one thing with me with it is, so I've never finished it, and I've tried several times, but it has loads of little, like, really cool little touches in it, like the footprints in the snow completely caught me off guard, especially as I was playing. It's a PS1 game. They'll never. Oh, what do you mean they noticed that? Oh no.
Yeah.
But then as
Yeah.
well, stuff also like the whole like swapping controller ports trick, one of the radio frequencies being in your actual manual, just loads of kind of like
Yep,
little
on the
touches
back of the
like
box.
that you just
Yeah.
didn't see in those days, and still don't
Yeah.
really see now.
Yeah, like the boss battle with Psycho Mantis, which is the controller port swapping one.
Yes.
It's basically, I think it's my favorite boss battle of all time. I don't think there's anything that's come close to doing what that did. The way it plays with your mind, like if you don't change controller ports, you can't beat them basically. And the fact that it sometimes tries to switch your TV off as well, as if it's changed input, and it comes up with like the Hideo thing in the top corner instead of like an input on your TV. And like you can read your memory card as well, and like, oh, you've been playing this and stuff like that, and it breaks down the fourth wall between like with games and everything. I just loved it. Yeah. Next on the list is Metal Gear Solid
speaking of Metal
3,
Gear,
Snake Eater. Now,
you nominated these back to back. Jesus Christ.
yeah. Well, the funny thing is that these two Metal Gear Solid games aren't even my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. My favorite one's
it's not going to be 5.
No, two
Considering
is
that
my
was your
favorite.
disappointment of the year.
Two is my favorite. Metal Gear Solid 1 was in for the innovation. Metal Gear Solid 3 was in for the setting and the story and the characters. And it's Metal Gear Solid 3 is
3 is the
people
one
say-
people go to as the best
Yeah.
one usually.
Yeah. And I can understand
I
that.
love 3.
Two was my favorite, but 3 is a brilliant game. It's incredible.
3 made me fall in love and understand that Squiggy wasn't just on drugs or something to be liking these games. Because,
Yeah.
it took 3 and I was like, I get it, it's all clicking.
Yeah. I did enjoy 3. It's just everything about it as well, because they changed it a bit. There was no radar, so you had to change your camo to fit in. The final boss battle, again, is one of my top 5 boss battles in games.
Which one
It's
is it? Is
just
it the end?
the boss.
Oh, it's the boss. Okay.
Yeah. The one where you've, like, as you're fighting her, she tells you this whole story about how
Oh yeah, okay. So
Everything
I always thought
happened.
the end was the final boss. The one where
the end is a good boss battle.
the end is the one where you can beat him by old age, right?
Yeah. You just move your PlayStation clock on by a week, and he dies.
He
Yeah.
dies, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a fun boss battle as well. But no, just everything in Metal Gear Solid I loved as well, and it is one of the most critically. I think it's the highest rated Metal Gear Solid game
Yes.
on Metacritic,
As far as
and I
I'm
think
aware.
it's one of.
Unless
highest rated
5
games of all
like
time
did a
as well.
miracle. But...
Let's have a quick look while we do this. Metacritic. I'm just going to quickly do this. I'm sure it's one of the top rated games of all time, actually.
I mean, yeah. If I was to play a Metal Gear game, I'd probably give 3 a try because I've tried 1 a few times, but it's never clicked with me. But the amount of praise 3 gets, I kind of want to give 3 a try.
High scores all time.
Is it your favourite one as well of the Metal Gears?
What, 3?
Yeah.
I thought you was going to argue 2, like he's got
No,
3 is
I
my...
was asking if
3's
it was your
3's my ultimate favourite. I think 3's perfection. 3 was definitely the one where I was like, the story makes sense to me. I get this. I get the love interest. I get the turmoil. I get it. Which made me able to then enjoy the gameplay without feeling like I was on some sort of test.
Right.
2, I really felt a pain to get through, and I'm glad I forced myself through that pain to get to 3, because 3, I would honestly, I'm not saying this because Squiggy's here listening, 3 is a must play for anyone.
That's
Simple.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3 is actually only got a 91 Metacritic rating. Metal Gear Solid 2 is a 96.
Well, there you go.
People got bad takes.
Yeah, but Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3's, but even from the start, the opening coming out of doing the Halo jump out of the aircraft, it's just brilliant. Yeah, a good game. Another good game is Star Fox 64, also known as Lilac Wars, if you're in Europe.
You're in the scrub territory.
Yeah, Lilac Wars is one of my most played games on the N64. The fact it came with a Rumble Pack as well, I just loved it. Honestly, I don't really know what to say about it because I enjoyed all the missions, going through all the different areas in the solar system. I loved the boss battle. I think there's one where there's your 4 guys against, is it Starwolf and his 3 other guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that part, and then that's before you meet, is it Andros?
Andros is the
Yeah.
final boss, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just it's one of the first games I ever properly finished all the way to the end as well.
What's funny to me, what always amazes me is you'd feel like in this day and age, especially with Star Wars being such a huge thing, that there would if you said someone name our favourite game where you're in a spaceship shooting things, you'd feel there would be more modern games, but no, Star Fox 64 is still probably the best one where you're in a spaceship shooting things.
The last one come close, didn't it? Because it tried to emulate
Zero it's an interesting one because it's a competent game, but the control scheme put a lot of people off. Some people clicked with it, but a lot of people thought it was a bit too steep a learning curve to try and get it. So it didn't have the immediacy that Star Fox 64 did.
Yeah.
Which is why they remade it on 3DS.
It did.
Yeah.
And it's the one that I really want to play. Again, obviously I know with the SNES Mini coming out, there's Star Fox
2!
Yeah, which is pretty much the basis of Lilac Wars, but it's not the same. Another game, which is not the same anymore, is another one that's on this, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. So the series has gone downhill a lot.
It's dead. The series is dead.
The series is dead.
It's dead.
And for me, number 2 was the one I spent most time playing. I don't know if we had the argument about 1 or 3. I can't remember.
I mean, I made the joke that it's the only one I've not played. And you
Which
were
means it must be good.
Slazer, why? Because
Yeah.
I've always been a FUG guy. I like the FUG games, but
Yeah.
no, when you were talking, no, this is one of the highest rated games of all time, I was like, what?
Yeah,
Kind of
I
started
think
to dawn on me.
I said it, and I think I didn't believe myself, so I had to go on Metacritic again to double check.
Yeah.
And it is one of the highest games of all time.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's one of those games where I remember a lot of the different places you could race around and everything like that. That's the thing. It's testament to how good the game is. It is actually the second highest rated game of all time,
Yes, behind
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, sorry.
Of course.
Ocarina of Time, yeah. And it's
Which
just
isn't
brilliant.
on this list.
Good.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I loved it. Great game. I don't think there's really much more to add, to be honest.
No.
It was kind of where it all clicked for Tony Hawk.
Pinnacle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the soundtrack as well. It was my kind of music. Got me into my jam. So yeah. Next game is The Last of Us.
Yep.
I don't think there's any arguing about that.
It's the one of the only games I'm thinking on PS3 that made me think, oh, PS3, yes. And then it got remade on PS4, so everyone could love it.
Yeah, and I didn't play it till the PS4 remake.
Yeah. I mean, it was the PS3 swan song. I think I would want to play it on PS4 if I was to give it another go, considering the loading times on PS3 are insane.
Yeah,
5 minutes. 5 freaking minutes I wait for that game to start.
Yeah, try playing Metal
And then
Gear
I
Solid
couldn't read
4,
the text.
Slazo. Loading times are longer on Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, but you've got to install it for 20 years in Metal Gear Solid 4, so the game prepares you for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point, well put.
But yeah, no,
But yeah.
Last of Us, really, it's weird that, coming off Uncharted, that Naughty Dog could go upwards, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. But
Yeah.
boy, did they with Last of Us.
Yeah, the whole story of The Last of Us, the again, there's some really memorable moments, even when you're playing as Ellie.
Yeah.
As well, and even the opening again with Joel and his child. It's a very memorable game, and I think a lot of people were sort of thinking, oh, it's not an Uncharted game. Where's this going to go? And obviously, it probably went above Uncharted. Maybe not them all, but it went above a few Uncharted games, definitely. And Uncharted is critically acclaimed itself.
Yes.
And The Last of Us I think The Last of Us blew it out of the water. I think it turned Uncharted up to 11.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far because I mean, Uncharted is kind of Hollywood, and I wouldn't say Last of Us is a Hollywood
Yeah,
style
I
game.
think the Last of Us.
that's fair.
I think the Last of Us went on a. I don't know whether more of a journey.
Yeah, it's more of
Then
an
Uncharted-
emotional resonance with
Yeah.
that than you get
Yeah.
with, say, Nathan Drake.
Yeah, Uncharted's like the Indiana Jones movie.
Yes.
Last of Us is like the emotional, gut wrenching movie, which is still like brilliant.
But I've seen many of, as you could see.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. But that brings us to the next game on the list, which is actually Uncharted 2. And I think I had a struggle to decide which one I enjoyed more of
why
Uncharted
2
2.
and not 3?
It's, do you know what? I could probably play the Uncharted series again and pick 3. It's not
Yeah.
there's not much between them, but I think I enjoyed again the setting of Uncharted 2 more than 3.
2
And I
was
think
the
that's
one
what it
where,
was.
much like with a lot of the games on this list, where they took what they learned on the first one, which was like a rough, unpolished, but cool idea, and then kind of ironed out all the faults, improved
Yeah,
it a lot.
yeah. I think that's probably why it would go in above 3, because 3 was just an advanced, just basically a continuation of 2 with a different setting.
Yeah.
And if it came down to a setting, I'd pick 2, but because of the extra polish from 1,
Yeah.
I think 2 deserves to go in there as well.
Question for you though, now that we're in 2017, if I said Uncharted 2 or 4, which one would you pick?
Oh god.
Because 4 wasn't out when you put this in.
It wasn't, was it?
No.
I think it was just about to come out.
I know what my answer would be.
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I think I might go with 4.
Right.
Yes, correct answer.
Yeah, I think I might go with 4. I think 4 outshone.
4
I think
seemed like, obviously I'm saying this having never played either, but 4 seemed to kind of like take the Uncharted and then add a little bit of what they learned from The Last of Us in terms of like making a more engaging story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
And also Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, little Easter eggs in the game as well. Yeah, but no, I think if I had to choose now, 4 would be the Uncharted game in there. But again, I think both of them deserve to be in there.
Yes.
I think 2 and 4 should both be in there. Another 2 that is in the top 50 is Halo 2, and I picked Halo 2 because of the multiplayer aspect, and it was basically the game that got me on Xbox Live.
It was the
And
game
it became-
that kickstarted Xbox Live.
And yeah, that's
right.
pretty much, yeah. And it's a game that even when the Xbox 360 came out, the only game I had in the disc tray for a very long time was Halo 2.
That does
And I was
not
wondering,
surprise me.
and I was wondering why my gamer score wasn't going up, because I didn't know anything about gamer score. And yeah, Halo 2 for me was the pinnacle of online shooters back then.
Yeah.
And
People were playing it up till the day it died, which is a testament.
yeah, and I mean Halo 3 is still good, but it's not Halo 2. And when the Master Chief Collection came out on the Xbox One, the first part I wanted to play was the Halo 2 multiplayer, which is again is testament to that.
Fairs.
Yeah, and I think again we've had a lot of Halo games since. There's probably going to be more Halo games after that. I don't think they're going to come close to what Halo 2 captured, online wise at least.
In terms of
Um,
multiplayer, I can agree. I mean, Halo 3 also, because, like, I mean, at the one point it was the best selling game of all time, before that started changing every 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But, yeah, no, like, Halo 2 and Halo 3 kind of really kind of helped take online shooting to, on consoles at least, because obviously on PC it had been around for a while, but helped kind of propel that limelight for consoles.
yeah. And personally, I think I probably preferred the Halo 3 story, but because of the Halo
No
2
comment.
online. But that's just me. But yeah, Halo 2 definitely deserves to be on there.
Yeah.
Rock Band.
Whoa, a
th-
3?
Yeah, Rock Band 3 is next, and I think I picked this one because I think it was more of the
It's the
online
best one.
band aspect, and it is the best one. And you've got the choice of songs from 1 and 2, Lego Rock Band,
Yes.
the other one.
Well, to be
with-
fair, okay,
yeah,
you've
that's-
got the choice if you pay up to put them in.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love Lego Rock Band.
But Rock Band 3 was probably the one that united
Yeah.
all the kind of concepts they
Yeah,
had.
I meant the Lego Rock Band songs, so basically the fact that I could put the Lego Rock Band songs into Rock Band 3 and get that non-Lego style but have the songs I liked. Perfection.
But it's just like the band campaign was awesome. Was this the one with Pro Instruments, where they introduced Pro Instruments? I want to say this was it.
I want to say yes as well.
yes, this one
Is
in
this-
just a keyboard as well, wasn't it, Laura?
Yeah, it was the keyboard one. I spent so much money getting this on launch day, man. Oh,
This was
can't-
probably like the last great rhythm game.
yeah.
Yeah, and it was a game that we spent a lot of time playing together as well.
Yes,
Yes.
I learned Metallica songs for you guys. God
Yeah.
damn.
And a
I'm
day
more-
to remember.
I liked it when I got the DLC of like Miley Cyrus. I was more comfortable with the
Yeah.
what was
But
happening.
that's the thing, when we used to do it, there was me, like, it was me, you, and then it was Mike, Darren, Slazo, and
Darren
like
usually
Tommy
was
rotating
the-
around as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And you, like, there was times when I wanted to play sort of a Day to Remember and Rise Against, and then other times I was like, let's do some Taylor Swift.
I know, and I was like thrilled to have that option because I remember any time I got stuck in there with Darren and I always ended up on vocals or keyboard, he always would pick a Metallica song and I really regretted doing the vocals.
Although I did pick a Slipknot song once when you
You
doing
did.
vocals.
Yeah, and I
That's
do I nailed that Slipknot song, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't sound like I was nailing it, but according to the game I did, so I'm taking it. Slipknot on my jam. But yeah, it was good times, Rock Band 3. Good game.
I could never do those above medium though, because
Same.
I couldn't do like the 4-finger thing, so I was always using 3 fingers. So trying to do hard on 3 fingers is.
It's better not be another left-hand excuse.
No, that's
Fine.
no. I mean,
Good.
like, there was no problem with holding the guitar left-handed.
That's fine, I'm just checking.
Well, I
just
must
didn't
say,
want
I
to-
never had a Rock Band peripheral. I always used the Guitar Hero 3 guitar.
Oh.
It's like I got one,
I did it
and
well.
I never changed
Oh,
it.
I used my Guitar Hero 2 guitar, and then my drums and that were from Band Hero. The very popular.
Never got the
Yes,
drums. Do have
Band
the
Hero.
DJ decks from DJ Hero.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, cool. And the dance map from Super Mario Mega Mix or whatever
Hell
that was
yeah.
called. Anyway,
God.
next game, Squiggy, next game.
Next game is Skyrim.
I loved it. I loved all 15 minutes of what I played.
Now, I think I picked Skyrim because I felt we needed to have a Bethesda game on the list. I think that was what my argument was at the time.
That's fair.
And
Oh.
I think I picked Skyrim because I could have probably picked Oblivion, Fallout 3, not Fallout 4.
I would have voted no on Fallout 3, just so
Yeah.
you know.
And I think I picked Skyrim because of like how long it's still going on for now.
Skyrim has, I mean, it's one of the games coming out later this year is Skyrim for Switch. It's
can't
still
wait.
going.
And VR as well.
Yep.
So I think I picked it more because of that, and obviously it is a very good game as well. Not obviously shying away from that, but I think I picked it more because of what it's still bringing to the table now, and it's the one that's probably gone on the longest, and people still play it now. Like the Switch version, people are still excited to play the Switch version.
Yeah.
People want to play it in VR. People are still playing it on PC. When it gets reduced on a sale in Steam, you see it shooting up the top sellers list and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's, I don't know if I'd say it the best open world game, but it's certainly probably the most iconic open world game.
yeah. If someone says to you, "Can you name an Elder Scrolls game?" They won't say Oblivion. They'll say Skyrim.
To be fair, most likely if you like go back to that whole name 10 games thing, I would imagine Skyrim would be one of the ones that a lot of people say.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people who I don't class as like hardcore
they're not
gamers or
legit gamers, but
like you know what I mean. Like they'll dabble in a few games. They all know Skyrim. Oh, what's Skyrim like? Have you ever played it? I'm thinking of getting it. I've seen some videos and sort of thing. It's like I've never properly played it before.
breathe, Squiggy.
But yeah, yeah. I think that's why I voted it, and I still think it belongs in there as well.
yeah, no, I'm with you there entirely.
Good lad. And then the next game was a bit of a strange one for me.
Yeah, I
voted-
didn't expect this one from you when you nominated it.
Yeah, I picked Mega Man 2, and I felt like a Mega Man game needed to be in there. And it was a case of picking which one I wanted.
Yeah.
And for that, I went more on basically reviews and like critics' choices on that. Not of playing many of myself. And Mega Man 2 seemed to be the best one in the series. It's the one.
Yeah, 2's probably the one where they kind of most knew what they were doing Mega Man, and it also like got like lent off 1 because I think all the Mega Man 1 bosses came back at one point, but like it kind of was able to like take Mega Man to its not necessarily the best Mega Man because there are elements of future Mega Mans that are better.
Yeah.
But it was probably like the best overall package.
And I think a bit like was said with, where is it? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Mass Effect 2, Uncharted 2. It improved on the first one
Yes.
again, and so probably made it into the base game of what all the other Mega Mans were based off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously it got voted in, so we all probably agreed. And it's a game that I've not played, so it was quite tough to pick this one, but I think it deserves a place on there. I think a Mega Man game definitely deserved a place, and
Yeah, I mean,
Mega Man 2 is probably the most.
the way I look at it nowadays is kind of like, so in the 2D era of gaming, you had a ton of games where you run and gun, as I call them, essentially platformers where you ran and shot things, and Mega Man was probably at the top of that, and Mega Man 2 probably sits at the top of those, so...
Yeah, defo. And
Speaking
I
of
have-
2D...
speaking of 2D,
Segway.
thank you, Slazo. Thank you. You can host next week.
Yay!
So my last game was Super Mario World, and which was known in Japan as Super Mario Bros. 4, in case anyone wanted to know.
I didn't, but thank you,
I
Wikipedia.
didn't know that. Very cool.
You're welcome.
I
You're
gave
welcome.
you torture for this nomination. It was brilliant.
You did,
Yeah.
yeah, because I had listened back to this one to work out. Was it this one? No, I listened to this one
No,
because
you
I
listened
thought
to
this
this
was
one
the
because I
one.
was trying to get you for one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I listened back. I was like, you criticized me a lot in this game, and then you were like, yeah, it's the
Yeah,
best
it's
one.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, thanks. And I can't remember. I was listening to it yesterday, and I still can't remember what I said because I was still focusing on you making me want to rage. But it was the first game. It was the first game to introduce Yoshi
It was.
as well, and it's a game that's been re-released on pretty much every Nintendo console. It's also being released on the Game Boy Advance,
Virtual
and it's
consoles.
virtual consoles, and
It'll be on the SNES Mini.
yeah. And I think for me, it was one of those games that I think it's the iconic Mario game, Super Mario World, instead of like Super Mario Land and all this.
Yeah, I mean, if you think 2D Mario, you'll either think World or the first one, the original
Yeah.
was. But World is probably the one because it's prettier
That's the thing when I think of
and
a
has
Mario.
a lot more levels.
Yeah, when I think of a Mario side-scrolling platformer, I think of Super Mario World.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there we
no,
go.
I really enjoyed my time with
I
this
think
as
I can't agree with it. I was fully on your side here, Squiggy.
Yes,
So
you
was
were.
I.
Someone else.
I just
but-
didn't tell him that.
Yeah. There's
But
a
what about Bros 3, Squiggy? Bros 3 was
Mhm.
cool.
Bros 3 was a good game, but
Yeah. But World's
Was it?
better.
yeah. I'm glad that's over because you crucified me for that one and I hated you for it. So now we move away from mine. So I had 12 games in the top 50. Don't know how that happened. I think I let Slazer have a few extra goes. You see, we'll go with
Yes,
that.
Pretty much.
We'll go
It was
with
a
that
case
one.
of you went, I can't think of any this week, and he went, I've got one.
Yeah,
And
you
just like that, my scheme
Nail it,
succeeded.
Squiggy.
Yeah.
Slazo, time to nail it and prove why you're the master of the top 50
but then
games.
when you picked a few, they were like, oh yeah, I should have picked that one.
I've
Forgot
got at
about
least
that.
one or two I stole off you here in this list.
Yeah. We'll start with your first one, which is a game that
Oh man.
I loved. Pokemon Gen 2, so that's Gold and Silver. I don't know if you included Crystal in that or not, but
No,
It
stop it.
doesn't really matter because, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. This is Pokemon at its absolute peak when it was taking the entire planet by storm, just like Pokemon Go did last year, but even more so. It's, the best Pokemon games. It takes what the original did, like many other games on this list, takes what the original did, spit polished it by adding like new types, a whole new region, so you got to have your nostalgia rush as you went around Kanto and fought Red. They fixed a lot of the old silly bugs that were in the game, so you can't think of any now off the top of my head. I think I need to think of them, but yeah. It made Bide not shit, among other things. But it was like the best Pokemon experience, and I put so many years of my life into this. Like, I think 7 years of my life went into Pokemon Silver. I loved it to
and you
pieces.
still haven't finished it.
Shut up, you. I have finished it, thank you. I mean, okay, technically no, because my game got wiped by Stadium 2, so my silver cartridge nowadays is more just a token of memories than anything. But no, I freaking love this game. I will happily rebuy it in a few weeks' time when it hits the eShop. Hopefully
And the
I'll be
box.
able to get the box. Yeah, fingers crossed I can get the box version, but if not, I will just happily download it and play it all again, because this was my childhood, and for many years was my favourite game of all time, because, it was the game that kept on giving.
Yeah.
And I don't think Pokemon has really... There's been a few games since where I've had, like, that kind of level of fun, but there's never been one that's kind of taken complete control of my life like Gold and Silver did.
Yeah, I've never had that feeling playing another Pokemon game like I did
Yeah.
playing Gold and Silver up until the 8th gym, Elite Four, and then stepping out of the cave in being in Kanto. I've never
Yeah.
had a game recreate that
You're
feeling.
like,
Just thinking, oh, I'm back
I
at home.
recognise this place.
I'm back home, and yeah, it's just, yeah, I love Gold and Silver. My favorite games. I've replayed them on the DS. Heart Gold and
Oh,
Soul
Hot Gold
Silver.
Silver, yeah.
I remember they came out when I was at uni,
Yeah, same.
and they were probably the reason I didn't get very good marks in that year of uni, because I would literally have my laptop up, pretending I was taking notes with my DS folded up inside of the
Yeah.
laptop, just playing Gold and Silver.
Wow.
I mean,
There
I
you
did
go.
the same.
Oh, well.
Not with Gold and Silver, though. I think it was Black and White was the one where I started doing that.
But yeah, brilliant gen of Pokemon games, and probably a gen that's never actually been eclipsed yet, I don't think.
I don't know if it ever will be, in many ways.
No.
Like, there's
No.
been fun ones since, like I like 5, I like 7, but yeah, Gen 2 has that special place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Another game which is very special to you,
It's like
Slazer,
the
is,
game that tipped off Pokemon Gen 2 as my favourite.
is Portal.
Yep, my number one game of all time. I think Laura and Squiggy both got their number ones in on the list, and this is my one.
I don't.
Hang on.
Did
No,
you
I
not?
don't.
Oh,
No,
no,
I
of course
don't.
you said Metal
Metal
Gear
Gear Solid.
2.
Yeah,
Wait, what
I
was your
don't.
number one then, Laura?
My number one of all time, like, a personal preference,
Yeah, yours.
is Saints Row 4.
Oh.
But that was never going to get one.
Wow.
No,
This
Saints Row
means-
3. I'm
This
lying.
means
It's
Slazer
Saints
like good games.
Wow.
Sorry,
Okay.
I love the
I'm
game.
gonna talk about my favourite game as a tonic for that. So
Even then, FIFA could be even up. Anyway, not the point. Carry
oh
on.
my Christ.
Bye.
Yeah, Portal. It was the game that made me get a 360. We talked about games making you buy consoles for before. When I first saw a trailer for this, I thought it was really kind of cool and unique. I'd never seen anything like it, like a platformer where you like have to go through, like, you make portals and you travel through them, do crazy things. That kind of won me over enough to like buy into it. But then when you actually play the game, it's also surprisingly like really well written. GLaDOS is probably one of the most iconic villains in video gaming. It also it has several of the most iconic memes from video gaming, with the whole "cake is a lie" and "still alive" as one of the best ending.
Did he just
credits
call them
songs.
memes?
He did.
I know.
Let it
I'm
go.
being such
Okay.
lol jokester.
Podcast.
They're memes. I know they're memes. Don't worry.
Oh,
kids.
he knows. He's aware. Calm down. Just let him go.
Mad jokes. But yeah,
Like, oh, yeah.
and in terms of gameplay, I just love every part about Portal. There was nothing really like it before. If you say not back in a drop, F off, because you never played it. But yeah, there was nothing like it before. There's kind of really never been anything like it since. Like, several games have tried to copy the mechanics and put them into other games, but it kind of stands alone as like this really cool, unique idea. I personally think it's Valve's best game that they've ever made, and yeah, I freaking love Portal. I've played it more times than I care to count or remember. It's perfection. It's not long, but everything is shined to such a golden sheen that it's perfection. If I had to call a game perfect, I'd say Portal.
Fair enough. I did like what I've played of Portal. I've not finished it, but
What?
I do like it. I've not finished Portal, no.
It's like 5 hours.
Yeah, you... Slazo.
Hi.
Let's not talk about finishing games. Come on.
Look, man. Look, alright. I know I'm bad at it, but you're better than me, Squiggy.
I am. I have it on PC. Maybe, just maybe I'll play it.
Nah.
No, probably not. But yeah, no, I understand the love of Portal. You've obviously spoke about it a lot, about how much you enjoy it, and you're not the only one. And yeah, it's a very good game. Next on your list is Tetris.
Oh man, you're talking about very good games. Probably one of the most iconic games of all time. Certainly the most iconic puzzle game ever made. Yeah, what do you say about Tetris? Like, everyone that, like, if I say Tetris, you'll instantly know both the song and the actual gameplay itself. It's phenomenally simple, phenomenally addictive, has been around for like 40 years, I think, at this point, and has easily stood the test of time. There's been many cool variants over the years. Tetris DS is one of my personal favourites. Puyo Puyo Tetris recently was pretty cool. Yeah, it's Tetris. It's the masterclass of puzzling. Everyone's played it, even Squiggy. And that should
Even
say something.
Squiggy.
Yes, I had it on the Game Boy, the
When they-
original Game
Oh
Boy.
man,
So did
yeah,
I.
the game
So did I.
Tetris DX, yeah, was it?
When they re-released
I don't know.
Tetris for the umpteenth time, I want that to be on the box art. Even Squiggy played this. No fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, if you're listening to this, you know what Tetris is. I really hope I don't need to justify why Tetris is here.
No, you
No.
don't.
No.
You don't. The one I played was the original Tetris on the Game Boy, released in 1989.
Nice.
I
can't
played
remember if I
that,
had that
and
one,
like-
or if I had like the Game Boy Color remake.
No,
Game
I
Boy
had,
Color one, yeah.
I had the original because I only had the original, and then I ended up with Tetris DS when it came out because
Tetris DS was really good. Like
I
Nintendo
liked it.
did their good spin on Tetris.
Yeah, no, Tetris is it's a game that's formed multiple games. It's not just Tetris. Like you look at Dr. Mario, which is
No
a form
one's-
of
no
which
one's
is no, but it's like
Mario.
it's a form of Tetris as
Dr.
well
Mario's
in a way.
closer to Puyo Puyo.
But it's like they're all sort of the same kind of games, and Tetris spawned that.
To
So-
an extent.
Next on the list is Resident Evil 4.
Yes, the pit, like some people would say Resident Evil 1's the better. I feel 4 did the best job of taking like the kind of slow and stuffiness of 1 at times and modernizing it in many ways. So it's a horror game still. Like there are still plenty of terrifying moments.
I don't
Being
like it.
chased by an entire. I know you don't, Squiggy. Being chased by an entire village for like 10-15 minutes.
Don't know what you're on
The part
about.
where you're walking through the village pitch black at night and there's bear traps
Oh, I
literally
definitely won't be doing
everywhere.
that.
When you're being chased by statues, invisible enemies, it's got plenty of terrifying stuff, but it also leans enough into action, like you're not as powerless as you were in Resi 1. You still can't move and shoot, for example, but you can do things a lot better. The pause menu will actually pause. Just like loads of nice little neat things like that. And I played it on the Wii, so I also had the advantage of like more precise aiming with the Wiimote, which kind of helped it. Yeah, I mean, when it first came out, I didn't really see the fuss because I wasn't really into shooters at that time. But I gave Resi 4 a try, and I absolutely loved it. I think it's the best like horror game ever made, and in terms of shooters, I think it's also one of the, not necessarily the best, but a pretty damn good shooter as well. And yeah, it kind of like helped. It's not that Resi 2 and Resi 3 were bad, but they were kind of like, they never really achieved the success of 1, and 4 was the game that kind of put Resident Evil back into the limelight for many years to come.
Yeah, and it's a shame that since 4 there's nothing come close. I mean, 7.
7 is cool.
7's
I
probably-
really want to try 7 because I really enjoyed playing the demo of 7, and I really do want to give it a go sometime. But it's out in this period where our money is tight at the moment, so I haven't been able to pick it up. I
Yeah,
really want it.
that's been my exact excuse for not playing it either, Slazo.
Sure. I mean, it seems to have leaned like more fully into horror, like even more so than 1 ever did. So I kind of like what Resident Evil 7's going for, and I do want to try it sometime.
But yeah,
Did
number
you actually
4
buy
is
it, Squiggy? I can't remember.
what? 7.
7.
Don't be
I know we
silly,
made
Slazo.
jokes about it and how you
No,
could play it on your VR,
he was
but
too
I didn't know if
scared.
you ever actually went through
Do you know, it was one of those games where I thought of buying it when it came out,
Right.
but I knew that I
But
wouldn't
then
play it
you've
because I'd be
met
too
you.
scared.
Yeah.
that's never stopped you before.
What, of buying a game because I'm too scared to play it?
No, because
Of just
you know
buying
you won't
games.
play it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
that's
buying
true.
games, just generally.
Yeah. But no, it's Resident Evil 4 it's Resident Evil that I've played the first one. I've not played 2 and 3, and I sat with my friend once when he played 4 quite a bit, and it did look. I was impressed with it. I was scared, but I was impressed with it, and it is obviously probably the best Resident Evil. So
Yes.
I didn't like 4. Sorry. I mean, I played it and I finished it, but I didn't think it had aged well because I played it after all the hype on PS3, if you remember.
Yeah, no,
So
I-
it's like, I got really annoyed by Ashley. Oh my god, I wanted to hit her with a fucking
I mean,
screw.
it's okay, look, as long as you don't try and tell me like your next breath Resident Evil 5 you thought was better.
No,
then
I
fine.
didn't.
No,
I didn't.
no.
There you go.
And I didn't like Resident Evil 6. To be fair, I didn't really like Resident Evil 4, but then I'd probably still argue it's probably the best Resident Evil I played. That sounds really weird, but it's
No,
just
that's fair.
I was more like, if that's the pinnacle of the series, maybe the series is a little overrated in my opinion. But then I don't know whether I need to. If it's just one of those things, if I had played it at the time, I would have loved. Because by the time I got to playing it, a lot of the things have been done better by other games that I've played. But I mean, Resident Evil is a famous franchise and it deserves a place on the list. So, I mean, we spoke about powerful female characters, the other week.
I wouldn't say Ashley is a powerful
No,
female character.
I'm just saying Resident Evil, the franchise in general, did stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
And if
it's had a
Resident Evil
couple
4
like Jill
yeah,
Valentine.
it's done loads of great things in terms of its place in video games, and technically, I can't argue that Resident Evil 4 is the best Resident Evil. Whether I enjoyed it's a different thing, But yeah, and yes, Ashley would not make that slay this seriously.
That's what I was like. What?
I didn't even want to save her, and it's like, oh, pick her man. No, do I have to? She'll be fine. I'll take my chances.
Cool.
Just anyway, yeah. Sorry. Wow me with your next game.
The next game is.
Oh,
I don't really.
It is.
I don't really want to say. I don't really want to say this game because of my Geordie turns. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
What?
You've seen one.
You've missed one.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I have. I've got that one highlighted. Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. 100 episodes.
I was
and
gonna say,
still can't read it right.
How are your Geordie tones? The Legend
100
of Zelda. I can't even do a Geordie accent on this word because it's so hard to do.
The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Yeah. So, yeah, Wind Waker is not probably what some Zelda fans would put as their favourite, but I feel, for me at least, it's always had the strongest connection. I feel it has the best soundtrack of any of the Zeldas. Like, I can vividly recall the Grand Sea theme, I can vividly recall, like, Windfall Island, Dragon Roost Island, and a bunch of the other music from the game. Visually, I've know, like, at the time, some people were like, it's cel-shaded, but it has aged so well. It still looks amazing, especially if you played the HD one on the Wii U. It's just, gorgeous. And, like, as much as some people get annoyed by the sailing, I kind of enjoyed the gameplay. I liked the world that you had. I feel like the dungeons, for me at least, they're not necessarily the best in the franchise, but they're still really good fun to play through. And I enjoy just exploring, finding new places. Yeah, the exploration as well, I feel, is the best in. Up until a certain modern recent Zelda was the best in the series of, like, being able to go to these Uncharted Islands. Because
you like Skyward Sword, didn't you?
Breath of the Wild.
I know.
Skyward Sword doesn't have exploration. Actually, Skyward Sword's cool, but it doesn't have exploration.
I've never played it.
But yeah, no, I feel Wind Waker, up until a certain recent Zelda, was kind of the best mix of exploration, dungeons, combat, visuals, audio. I think it just nailed a lot of elements, and while some people might say it's too simplistic, nah, it's really good fun. I really enjoy Wind Waker. It's held up well over time, and quite a lot of Zelda fans go back to Wind Waker and still have a good time playing it. Whether I'd still put that in now, because Breath of the Wild's a thing,
I was gonna say.
Don't know. Because Breath of the Wild is a damn good game.
It is.
We'll see if it holds the test of time like Wind Waker.
Yeah, no, I do like. I really enjoyed Wind Waker as well when I played it on the GameCube.
Yeah.
It's a very good Zelda game. I do like the art style for it.
Yes.
I actually think it's my favorite art style from all the Zelda games.
I agree with you completely.
It's I love, like I said, the soundtrack as well. Love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Very good game. Not one that I've completely finished, but a very good game.
Laura, tell us your opinions on Zelda.
I am not a fan of the Zelda franchise, and I'm happy if you're happy that Wind Waker is your chosen game. I do say that when I look at memories of playing said Zelda games in an attempt to try and like them and learn to love them, I did like the art style of Wind Waker. So yeah,
I'll take it. It's the best I'm getting out of her.
I was gonna say that's the nicest she's been about it. So
yeah, I just know it's one of those things where you hold your hands up and like it's not for me, but I recognise its place in video games and people's hearts. And
yeah, we'd be remiss if we didn't have a Zelda on there. So and me and Squiggy, we seem to think Wind Waker's the best. So
yeah, well, I never
if you're
tried
there
to vote
sitting
for
there going
Ocarina
of Time, you can't see it, but I'm waving my middle fingers at the screen. So.
And if you're saying Ocarina of Time, I'm just shrugging my shoulders and going.
I mean, Ocarina of Time was a very good game, but I don't think it's. I think they're probably both on par, but I think Wind Waker's better than both of them.
Yes.
So, at least we'll both agree on that one. The next game is going to be a shocker. It's not one we've revealed before. It's Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Man, this was a pleasant one when I nominated this, because I was like, this is the one where my streak shatters and ends, and I joined Squiggy and Laura and they haven't got a gaming list. And then, as it turned out, no, you both really like it. Yeah. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, I feel, is like the peak of the kind of tycoon genre that hasn't really come back since. I mean, there's mild resurgence these days with cool things like Planet Coaster and Parkitect, but yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 was had the most features of any Roller Coaster Tycoon game. Kind of took what tell me if you've heard this one before. Took what the original did and built on it with loads of
No.
new. No, I know.
No, not another one.
I think this is the last one looking at the list. But yeah, kind of like gave you loads more rights to do, kind of improved the scenarios of the game, so kind of gave you a bit more objectives, a bit more flexibility of what you could do. And yeah, I still put tons of times into this. It was the first game, no, it wasn't the first game I bought on Good Old Games, that was Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, because 2 wasn't out at the time. But yeah, it's one of the few PC games I keep coming back to time after time after time. I feel it's the best of all the Tycoon games, out of like Zoo Tycoon and Casino Tycoon, Mal Tycoon, all the rest of them. You could make an argument for Theme Hospital, and I'll give you Theme Hospital's cool.
Yes.
Theme Hospital's
Theme Hospital was cool, but Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 was the one I always put a ton of time into and have really fond memories of. And it's a shame the genre's never really kind of gone anywhere since. We've had a couple of cool games since, as I mentioned, but yeah. I'd really love to rebuy Zoo Tycoon if it ever came out, Microsoft, hint hint.
You're getting Jurassic World.
I am. That could
That
be
was
pretty
really
cool.
good.
Yeah.
It actually does it really good. But yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is the one that I spent the most time on as well. I think we said this because you were worried that it wouldn't get voted in.
I was assuming neither of you would have ever
played
played it, but then it came out that you both have.
Yeah, I used to love Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. I think I have
Likewise.
3 in my Steam library.
3 is cool.
Yeah, I have
never
something in my
clicked
Steam
with it,
library.
but 3 is cool.
Yeah, but no, I love 2. Yeah, I'm all in for that.
Yay.
It was a good choice, Lazo.
Thank you.
Another good choice was
I was
next,
gonna say, the
which
one I
is
stole off you.
yes, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
The best modern shooter bang until Destiny, and in terms of story, Call of Duty 4 is miles better than Destiny. But yeah, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I know some people will say Halo 3 was the one that did it. For me, Call of Duty 4 was the one that really kind of sold me on shooters in general. Like, I didn't click with Halo 3. I didn't really click with Half-Life 2. I thought Team Fortress 2 was alright and had fun playing that. But Modern Warfare was the one that kind of really made me go, holy shit, this is amazing. It kind of really took a genre that was so obsessed with World War II in many ways and kind of went, now we can do loads of other cool things. Like, what if we set a war in the modern day? And yeah, the multiplayer was perfection. It had tons of amazing maps, kind of just a really nice, cool, solid set of guns and perks and things. Some people get mad at Martyrdom. I thought it was hilarious, and
Love Martyrdom.
yeah, it's hilarious. Like, it's great fun because it's like I shot someone, now I have to immediately run the frick away. It's brilliant. And go on,
Go on, carry on.
No, after you.
I got to the stage of playing Call of Duty 4 so much that I knew how long exactly it would take for a martyrdom to explode. So I knew when I could shoot someone and when I was safe to run over their body.
You go, wow, Laura. We played this game, like, all 3 of us, solidly for, like, 2 years. Like, even after World at War came out, we kept playing Modern Warfare 1.
World at War? War wasn't real. That never happened, in my opinion.
That is their favourite Call of Duty game. I thought it was absolute rubbish. Rubbish, not rubbish. Rubbish.
I
Yeah.
could not stand the beta. It was
It's
so...
amazing.
Like, I played the beta and that was enough, which says so much.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And the prestige system, I think it was the first game to do it, was also a kind of really cool idea of, like, when you hit max level, you could stay there with all your guns and everything, and that's fine. But after a while, you'll get an itch to, like, man, it doesn't feel like I'm progressing, and I could prestige and do it
Yep.
all over again. And sure
that one?
enough, yeah, we did. I made it to third prestige in the end. I don't know how far you two made.
I
Oh.
don't really remember. Like,
7th, maybe 8th
Jesus
prestige.
Christ.
I was literally, I've sunk so much time because obviously the remastered one came out
Yes.
November, and I was just checking my
That
Xbox
one goes a
stats.
bit too far with the prestige you can do.
I have spent 73 hours playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered since November.
Have you made it to prestige yet? Because I know they've
I've
made it a lot longer.
I've prestiged. Well, I'm into the first prestige, but I didn't start for a while.
Right.
So I didn't really start that one. But if I had, I'd probably be on about third prestige now.
But
I just sunk so much time into it.
and the one thing I haven't mentioned, single player campaign was also really well done. There are lots of like cool standout missions, but the moment I'll go for is the nuke, which kind of really took me off guard when that happened. I was like, oh man, yeah, we're gonna be fun. What do you mean we're not gonna be fun? Oh, I'm in a wasteland and dying. Oh, didn't expect this.
Yeah, there's so many memorable moments from that game, and ones that still stand the test of time. Like, I was talking about this with someone else, and he was like, "Oh, do you remember this mission? Do you remember that mission?" I was like, "Yeah, I do, yeah." And we're talking about it. I was like, memories.
Yep. To the point where I was willing to spend 80 quid just so I could replay this game, because boy, it didn't come standalone. So
Yeah.
And not that Infinite Warfare is a bad game. That's perfectly fine. But I was willing to pay the price for Modern Warfare Remastered, because that is just such a great game.
It is. It is. Another great game is next on your list, Laser, and that's Super Mario Galaxy.
Yep. Ironically, not my favourite Mario, but the the one that has kind of probably done the most for the series, in that it's probably one of the Wii's best games, and yeah, it's Mario in space, and at first it was kind of like, I mean, how's that going to work? But like, a really kind of cool game that did something that you hadn't really seen a lot. Like, I'd seen it once or twice in like Ratchet and Clank doing this kind of running around on a planetoid thing, but Mario Galaxy really took it to a whole another level, had such a wide variety of missions. Also was kind of like the last Mario game for now, where you kind of went back to worlds several times over and did different things. And just when you thought you were getting to the end, then you had like Trickster Comets, or whatever they were called in Mario Galaxy 1, which added like new variants. So now you have to get through this level without taking a damage. Now you have to get through this level getting 100 coins, or... No, I don't think Shadows were in that one, I think they were in 2. But yeah, it really offered like a lot of fun Mario platforming action in a new way that you hadn't really done before in 64 Sunshine, and yeah, it kind of awesome, amazing soundtrack as well. I think it was the first orchestral soundtrack for not just Mario, but I think any Nintendo game. I think this was the first time they got a full orchestra in to kind of do the soundtrack. Gusty Garden Galaxy theme, everyone remembers that. It's the one everyone goes to as the best one. But yeah, Mario Galaxy probably like helped take the franchise to new heights after like 64 kind of seemed to be the peak for it. Galaxy kind of shattered the ceiling and went to space.
Yeah, it's one that I've not played, but it's a one that I really wanted to play, and everyone who I spoke to loved it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it deserves to be there. Yeah. Definitely.
I think we'll be having a different conversation about Mario Galaxy's place on the list after Super Mario Odyssey comes out, because I think it's something that might not be something that replaces it if it lives up to the potential it's showing right now.
Odyssey's going to be an interesting one in that it seems to be merging kind of the
real world difference.
I mean, there's that, but I feel for me it seems to be merging like the world-based gameplay you had in 64 and Sunshine with the idea-based gameplay you had in like Galaxy 2, 3D World. And I feel that is definitely a boon for the series. I feel it's become a bit too obsessed with like one and done levels. So having actual huge worlds which you explore and kind of get to know and have fun with, because I mean that's why I love Sunshine. It's not on the list, but Sunshine is my favourite Mario game, and I kind of love it because it feels like you're in a world, the world of the Delfino Isle. That's it, Delfino Isle. I feel like it's a cool place, and you can see locations from other places which you don't really get in Galaxy or 3D World. So. But yeah, Super Mario Galaxy, amazing game, probably the one that most people would say is the best Mario game.
Your next game is Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is a personal favourite of mine as well.
Yes. Sure, Brawl and 4 have more fighters, but Melee has more things to do, and I'd argue is a tighter game than either of them. Like, it's the one I spent by far the most time on. It's probably the GameCube game I've spent the most time on as well, alongside Sunshine. Yeah, there's like tons of different modes between like, so you've got the adventure, which isn't really a story mode, it's kind of a nonsense thing. You've got classic if you just want to fight people. You've got All-Star, where you have to get through the entire roster of characters. You've got events, which are like do these 50 stupidly challenging scenarios. A variety of brawl options, like Cruel Brawl or 100-Man Brawl, which sounds easy, but boy, it's easy to make a mistake when you're at like 70 fighters down. Targets, Sandbag Blast, getting all those damn trophies, like... For like a lot of fighting games, you can kind of exhaust within like not necessarily a few hours, but kind of like once you've played for a couple of characters, there's not a whole lot to do. Boy, you never got that in Melee. There was always something to do in Melee, and custom balls and kind of other things when you just wanted to make up your own insane fun. I've not even talked about the multiplayer. Absolute riot in multiplayer. Like, man, I want to play as my favourite character Pikachu. Well, I want to play as my favourite character Samus. Blah blah blah. Well, here you go. It's a game where you can fight them. And yeah, it was on the N64, but this one kind of, oh no, it's a 2. Just realised. It's a second game in a series. Oh no! But yeah, kind of took what the original did so much more with it. And Brawl was cool, but I feel like took some steps backwards some days. Same with 4, like I never connected with them the same way I did with Melee. And I mean, you still see people campaigning for Melee at EVO, so there you go.
Yeah, Melee was my favourite one. Still is my favourite one. Love them all, but Melee is still up there with my favourite as well. Your next game was Little Big Planet.
Yeah, boy!
You tried to get this out, you cheeky little git.
This is the one I tried to sabotage to go for a sequel.
Yep. So, I mean, Laura mentioned like way back with Time Splitters Future Perfect about level creators, and they were in games up until this point, but never really it was never really the crux, that's what I'm after, the crux of the game. Whereas Little Big Planet was a game entirely designed around play, create, share, as they called it. Which, yeah, it was by far it was the first game before like this became a big thing in the industry to really kind of go, we're putting the onus on players to create stuff. We have our campaign, and that's alright, but we want you guys to make the levels. We want to see what you can do with these tools. And boy, did people deliver. Like, there are so many cool different ideas and explorations of what you can do with the Little Big Planet engine. And yeah, you've seen it in a lot of games since, like Mod Nation Racers did a lot with it. Trackmania has kind of been inspired in some ways by this. Just, yeah, it was the first game to really kind of put a hub in as well, because other games had it, like Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 had it, but you had to go online and search forums and stuff. Whereas Little Big Planet, it's a part of the core game. It's easy enough to just go, I want to play a level about flowers, so I'll search flowers, and oh boy, here's like 20 different platforming levels with flowers as a kind of idea and theme. And yeah, it's probably the single most defining like community-based game that's been around, and I freaking loved it. It was what got me to buy PS3. It kind of really inspired me in some ways. Has my favourite band in it doing the signature song. So yeah, I love Little Big Planet. Inspired.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Sackboy's one of the most lovable characters ever for me.
Yes.
So having his game series represented.
Stephen Fry narrating. Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Little Big Planet game deserved to be in there. Whether it was 1 or 2, I think they're both brilliant games. Yeah, deserved. Definitely. Another game is Minecraft that you picked. Yeah. Another game that I've not played.
Everyone's played this except Squiggy.
Yeah, I got in there before that. Before you made that, I've not played this.
I mean, if you're listening to this, I really hope you've played Minecraft. It is probably the biggest game in our industry these days. Whether you're happy with that or not, yeah. It's certainly the most viewed game in terms of like YouTube views. Yeah, it's like it's weird to say that a Lego game never just did this, because Minecraft is.
Well, Lego Worlds is what it is, isn't it? Lego Worlds, their response.
Yeah,
20 years.
That's the thing though. Like Minecraft was essentially Lego the video game, and became such a humongous hit because there was nothing like it really at the time. Of like, yeah, just go build whatever you want in this world with these blocks, and go mining, you can go build a house, you can go exploring, you can do whatever you want, and it's kind of blossomed into such a huge deal over the years. Like, it exploded then, and it's still hugely popular now, like, to the point where Microsoft paid literally billions upon billions to get it to be their property. And even then, it's still kind of like, it's still at E3 every year as like a cool thing. Like in 2016, it was, here's a HoloLens, we're going to use Minecraft to demonstrate it. 2017, here's cross-platform play. Minecraft's the one leading the charge on that, with every platform under the sun except Sony.
And 4K.
Yeah, Minecraft 4K. I don't know why Minecraft needs 4K, but sure, why not? Yeah, everyone and their dog is playing Minecraft, except Squiggy. But
apart from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game that
why haven't you played it, Squiggy?
I don't really know, to be honest.
It just seems so weird in some ways.
I honestly couldn't tell you why I haven't played it. It's just, it's never really appealed to me.
Right.
Really, I don't know why. It's just not I don't think it's my kind of game. But again, it's not one that I've given a go to try to say yes or no. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one day I'll play it. Probably won't, but maybe. But yeah, it's
arguably the most popular video game ever made. So
it deserves to be on there, definitely. Another popular game you put is Shadow of the Colossus.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna run out of voice. So yeah, I'm only halfway through. Fuck. Shadow of the Colossus.
Hurry up, Slazo. Skip through
Come
these.
on.
Oh
Come on,
man, oh, if only I hadn't got 20 games on this list. Shadow of the Colossus, yeah, not as big as Minecraft, but certainly no less popular among the people who have played it. Admittedly, I only played it a few years back, but yeah, it's a really kind of, from Team Ico, who have also done Ico, and most recently Last Guardian, it's kind of a cool game. It's probably the most well-known boss rush game, and it's kind of really kind of cool for the atmosphere it kind of generates. Like, there's nothing else really like it, because you don't really get a lot of story. It's like, you want to revive your dead girlfriend, go slay these 16 beasts, and that'll probably help. Cough, cough. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. There's nobody talking to you and narrating your journey. It's just you and your horse aggro, travelling across the land. There's a giant beast, better kill it. Why am I killing them? Are they bad? No, just go kill it. That's your job. And at first you're they're kind of puzzles unto themselves. So the Colossus are giant, great structures, where half the puzzle is how do you climb them in the first place? Where do you grip? Where do you hold on to? Where do you jump from piece to piece? Where's their weak point so you can stab them in it and hope they then don't shake you off? And yeah, at first you go yeah, this is fun, I'm just slaying these giant beasts, and you get some interesting designs over the course of the game. There's the inevitable, it's not actually bigger than you, Colossus, because of course there was going to be one of those. But yeah, and as it goes on, you get halfway through and you start going, wait, why am I killing all these hard things? They're just there, they're not really doing anything wrong, they're just, And yeah, it kind of makes you think about these kind of things without ever saying anything. And it does a lot with a little. A lot of the soundtrack is just ambient noise, much like Breath of the Wild later on. But even more laid back and song, having very few songs until you actually fight the Colossus, at which point soundtrack kicks in proper. But yeah, I really loved Shadow of the Colossus. I really took to it. It has some very frustrating bosses in it, especially the final one, which took me many hours, and I think I was having a breakdown with it. I think I was partying with Mike at the time and was having a breakdown at trying to beat this damn thing. But yeah, I really love it. I don't think there's another game really like it. I don't know if there ever will be, but it's popular enough to the point it got redone on PS3. It's getting redone again on PS4, as we saw at E3 this year, and yeah, it's a ride, it's a trip. Much like Journey in some ways, except Journey is a lot simpler and more relaxing than Shadow of the Colossus.
And this sounds like a stressful... This isn't what you use to meditate, though.
Yeah. But it's weirdly how, I don't want to say it's well written, but certainly it has some moments in it that that stand with me. And I'm not going to say them, because neither of you have played it.
Yeah,
That's
I can't
true.
argue that.
Yeah, I can't argue that either.
It's true.
I've got nothing else
Please
to add
do.
to that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's stood the test of time.
Another frustrating game, which isn't relaxing, is Dark Souls.
Yeah,
You love these games. You love them.
Dark Souls. It's weird. I think one of the things that always strikes out to me is it's weird in this day and age for a genre to be kind of started and pioneered, but that's kind of what Dark Souls did. If you're saying Demon Souls, congratulations, here's your medal. Dark Souls is the one that made it popular. Now go away. But yeah, Dark Souls kind of pioneered the ultra hard genre and kind of really made it popular and hit the mainstream. And it's so weird because you'd never really think a game like that would do it, but hey, that's what the crowd wanted apparently. It also does a lot kind of cool things with environmental storytelling, in that the game never really gives you the story. You're kind of going through this world, but you can piece things together through the relics you find and the people you talk to for very brief intervals. And yeah, it's very much a game of, if you die, it's usually your fault because you did something stupid, like you ran into a fight without being prepared, or you rolled when you should have swung, or many things. It's not a forgiving game, but it is a game that does reward learning and repeat playing and kind of figuring out the mechanics. And yeah, it inspired an entire genre since then. We've seen multiple Dark Souls games, we've seen stuff like Nioh, we've seen Bloodborne, arguably one of PS4's finest games. So yeah, it's kind of as I say, it's weird to think of a game that kickstarted a genre in this day and age, but Dark Souls kind of did that, and it's become like this big iconic game because of it.
Yeah, and you mentioned like
Bloodborne,
it's not just
which me and you.
Oh God, yeah.
You what?
Bloodborne. Ugh. But yeah, it's not Bloodborne it's kind of an RPG, but it's classed as a Souls
It's a
game.
Souls game.
Yeah, that's the genre now it's created, and yeah, I'm with you on that one.
I'm gonna be honest, I would never play it because I don't want that sort of pain. But
It takes a special kind of mindset. But...
yeah, if that's your jab, I'm gonna slap you. Dark Souls is the thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, both me and Squiggy agree that we had fun playing Bloodborne. It's just neither of us had the time really to put into it that it needs.
Yeah, it was a great game, and I did enjoy learning all the different mechanics as I got on. But as it gets more complicated, you don't have that time to die to get back to where you were, to go through the mechanics and stuff like that. If you've got patience, time to do it, then by all means buy it, but no, if you don't. If you live a busy lifestyle, play a lot of games, don't buy it. The next game on the list was Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, took us a while to get to it because mainly because Mike and Darren weren't here to nominate it because they would have put it in a lot sooner than I did. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII. Persona 4 Golden may be my favourite JRPG, but Final Fantasy VII is the icon of the entire genre. It's one of the most iconic PS1 games. If you ask people to name a JRPG, they'll probably go Final Fantasy VII. It certainly kickstarted the franchise and the genre in the West in a way that other JRPGs, although good, had never really done over here. Everyone bloody remembers Sephiroth, everyone bloody remembers Cloud, everyone bloody remembers Aeris dies, spoiler. And yeah, Final Fantasy VII, shock, horror, gasp. Final Fantasy VII is kind of the one that really kind of made Japan, I was about to say the Japanese games popular over in the West. It kind of was the one that really pioneered that and also showed off what the PS1 could do.
Yeah, I've not played it, but I've got no arguments at all with that. I don't think I had arguments at the time.
Yeah.
Still a great game. A game that the characters are known everywhere. You still see people cosplaying as Cloud and
Tifa,
Sephiroth and
Aeris.
Yeah. Your next game was Civilization 5.
Yes, I wanted to put kind of strategy / 4X game in there, and Civilization is the franchise that probably most people have played, and Civ as it's no longer the most recent now I think about it. Civ 6 has come out, but Civ 5 is probably the one that...
Civ 6 is the equivalent to Sims 4 to Sims 3, I'm just telling you now, Civ 6 is it, I'm just saying. I might be hard.
Dread to think what Beyond Earth is now. But yeah. Civ
Crazy
5,
time.
Yeah, Civ 5 is probably the one that's taken the franchise the furthest it can go as of right now. Admittedly, partly that's because I've played it with add-ons, but yeah, you control nations, you completely manage them, how they grow, the way their cities go and everything. You fight off barbarians, you fight other players, you try and nuke them or make peace. If it's Gandhi, you'll fight him because Gandhi's an ass in Civilization. Yeah, there's probably no better game in terms of managing a civilization than Civ, and it's the one that's become representing the franchise over the years. So yeah, I couldn't give you a really good reason why Civ 4 over Civ 5. I think just Civ 5 has the most features and the most variety of what you can do in the game, and I felt like strategy deserved to be on it.
Yeah, strategy does. Civ games are well known. Well, popular games as well, and I think Civ 5 is the most popular one.
I think it's the one that's sold the best. I think it's certainly the one I've played the most of.
Yeah. Your next game was Space Invaders.
Oh boy, pew 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 pew. Yeah, we need a shmup, and shoot 'em up, shmup.
I love Space Invaders.
Space Invaders. So the one where you go left and right and you hide behind the bases and you shoot them, and everyone fucking played this. It was in pubs, for God's sake.
Squiggy, tell me. Confirm.
Yes.
Yes, it's confirmed. Everyone's played it. Squiggy's on board.
Yeah, and
Yes,
obviously
I am
there's
on
been
board.
like a billion shmups since, so yay, Space Invaders.
Yay, I agree. Yes, good choice. Everyone's played it. Brilliant arcade game, and then obviously came into console space as well, and was just as popular. And your next game was The Secret of Monkey Island.
Not actually played this one, but yeah.
Sam, I don't think.
Slazo bought
you
it
had.
for me, and I played about 5 hours of it.
I did.
He did.
Huh.
So you bought it for Laura, but never played it yourself.
No, I own it, but whatever. Yeah, but Secret of Monkey Island, we need a point and click game on this, and while the new modern era of Telltale is kind of cool, I guess, but Secret of Monkey Island is probably the one most people would point back to with fond memories, which I will now recount many of, because I totally know the game, but there was the bit on the island, right?
With the monkeys.
Wow.
The secret.
Laura,
God.
take it away, you've played this more than me.
I mean, it's just I can't really say I have memories because obviously it's like very big stories and stuff. Sorry, but it's basically the only point and click adventure I could name off the top of my head without googling.
Yeah,
Is that not
it's...
fair? Is that
yeah,
not
no,
the?
No, that's very
there's
fair.
a
It's...
I think there's Sam and Max or something, or oh god,
There's been
the
loads
game.
of other cool ones like Sam and Max, like Grim Fandango, which you
Oh, I got the name
replayed.
right. I loved Grim. I forgot Grim. I've actually played Grim Fandango. Oh god.
Have you
Yeah,
wrote about it
Monkey
for the
Island.
site?
Yeah, Monkey Island is better than Grim Fandango from what I played. But the only reason I stopped is because I switched PC, and as you guys know, I basically work on a hamster wheel now. So
But yeah, probably the most iconic point and click and the one most people have fond memories of. So
yeah, I think that's fair. What's next? Come on, bring it to me.
Plants vs Zombies.
Oh, what a classic Slazo.
Plants
Tell
vs
this.
Zombies, my first top 50 finishing game of the entire list. Yeah, it's another one of those games that your mum will have heard of.
My mum
and-
played.
Your
That's
mum
a really
played.
good-
There you go.
My mum
Exactly.
loved it. She loved one, and she was
It's.
desperate when
I mean,
two
hell,
came out
one of
to
the
get
people
it.
I go
Oh,
to the pub with every week still plays this game. So
She would still play it if she had the new one, or the other one, the one that's not compatible with Kindle. She plays it on
Okay,
Kindle.
yes,
Just
okay.
don't worry about it.
But yeah, Plants vs Zombies is on pretty much every platform under the sun. It's
Apart from Kindle.
probably the most iconic tower defense, even though it's in some ways not that much of a tower defense game. But yeah, everyone loves it. You can breed the plants and make your own kind of money and new breeds, and yeah, it's withstood the test of time, considering this is like a 10-year-old game now, and people still talk about and
And-
play
It led to Garden Warfare, which is super fun,
it. It did.
super loved,
So weird
and
to think
they
that
also
was,
have children books about it, but not the point.
yeah, it's become a big franchise. So yeah, Plants vs Zombies is a pretty great game.
Tis indeed. Another great game is Burnout Paradise.
Oh man, I mean, now I look at it, we don't actually have a whole lot of racing games on this list. But yeah, Burnout Paradise, man, probably the best open world racer, probably one of the best full stop racing games. I freaking loved what it did. It took the crashing mentality of Burnout, but did it on a kind of, I don't want to say a larger scale, but a different scale. So like you had this entire city to learn and stunt around. Oh, you want to unlock a new car? Go smash into it. And then of course the multiplayer with up to 8 people, all in a quarry, trying to do barrel rolls. Just challenges were amazing, and it even made like racing, something which wasn't that great in my opinion in previous Burnout games. It made that really kind of fun, as you kind of learnt the ins and outs of the city and the different routes you could take to get to places really fast.
There's
So
also one thing you're missing. One thing.
what have I missed, Laura?
The fact they actually made the Xbox Live camera a worthwhile feature to see someone's
I
face
mean, I
as you
didn't
crash
own
into
one,
them.
so that's why I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't own one, but I basically remember Thomas B, Buzz, as he's better known in our little gamer tag circle. He had one, and I remember every time we crashed him, he'd be putting on weird faces. Yeah. I just
Yeah.
remember that was like a weird thing they managed to make that feature with the camera, so.
Yeah,
I mean, we were
Burnout
playing this for
Paradise
like a
is-
good year. So
yeah, it was one of my favourite racing games of all time, to be honest.
yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
Slazo,
And the-
seal the deal, though. Seal the deal with... Why Burnout Paradise and not Forza Horizon? Why? Why would you do that?
Because Burnout Paradise is better multiplayer.
That's fair, I just really wanted to know why, because I know you're a big Forza man.
Forza
Screw you, what were you
Horizon
gonna
is
say?
cool and is probably the best spiritual succession to the franchise, but Burnout Paradise has the best kind of multiplayer in it. And I have more fond memories of it.
Yeah, I love Burnout Paradise. Even the soundtrack. We all remember me singing the
Hey,
soundtrack.
hey, you, I don't like your girl.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Burnout Paradise it's a brilliant game, to be honest. If they remade it on the PS4 or well for any console, I'd buy it straight away, day one.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
same.
Yep.
And the last great Criterion game, sad face. But go on.
Yes, and we're now on to the final game in our top 50.
We've made it almost.
Made it. Pokemon Snap.
So good, I completely forgot I nominated this. I mean, hey man, yeah, it's probably the greatest spin-off in gaming history. Everyone freaking remembers this one, even 20 years later, to the point where people have been screaming for it to be remade. It's a really simple idea, it's not that big a game, it's not that long a game, but goddamn, sitting in this car taking photos of Pokemon doing silly poses was freaking amazing. And it's a crying shame that they've never brought it back on any of the many platforms that would be perfect for it. Like the Wii U, which has a tablet, which you could treat as a cat. Yeah, I'm not going to go into that argument. But yeah, Pokemon Snap, probably the greatest spin-off, and one of the most fondly remembered Pokemon games that isn't Gold and Silver. So, I felt it deserved a place in terms of, like, yeah, there's never really been a game like it since, either. Like, you go, name a photography game that isn't Pokemon Snap, and the person will probably raise their hand to say Pokemon Snap, stop, and then you'll get nothing out of them. So, yeah, Pokemon Snap. Everyone has fond memories of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when you nominated, I pretty much said straight away, yep, love Pokemon Snap.
Yes.
I loved it on the N64, one of my favourite games on the N64. It was simple, but it did what it needed to do.
Yeah, and it had plenty of replayability, like as you tried to find the new Pokemon to get the legendary birds, to get some of those stupid shots like the fucking free Jigglypuff or fucking flying Pikachu. Just, yeah, throwing those goddamn pestilence.
That's the thing. It was short, but the replayability for all the extra stuff you could do once you unlocked, like, was it apples, unlocked other stuff and everything.
The flute, yeah.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, brilliant game. Loved it. That seals the deal.
50.
Oh, God. Beautiful.
That was our top 50, which we spent 75 of these 100 episodes creating.
It's a thing of beauty.
And we've gone through it all in the space of a few hours.
Yeah. I never lost. Never.
Yeah. And that was basically what our episode 100 was going to be all about, sort of talking about the games that probably we spoke about most on these podcasts anyway, because they are some of our favourites, I think it's fair to say. Yeah, and there's obviously some very good games there, some very good memories we've probably all shared together playing them as well.
Yes.
But let us know in the comments below some of your favourite games, and, you know, if you don't agree with some of ours, which is probably very likely, why? And,
Field your complaints at the Retro Remastered Twitter, and we'll be sure to never respond, because...
Yes, because I don't think the password for that Twitter account anymore. But yeah, before we end an era, I thought we may as well, I tried to do it before we started, talk about what we're doing.
Future plans.
Yes, our future plans. Slazo, do you wanna tell everyone your...
I'll go first, so then it'll look like you're copying me completely.
Oh no, I'm going first. No, go on.
Are you sure? Alright, okay.
Yeah.
So, as I've already mentioned, I'm bringing Saturday Morning Switch to an end as well. But that suddenly means I have loads of free time. What am I going to do? Well, for a while... Maybe. For a while, I have had plans that I should probably start some kind of Let's Play channel or streaming, and I'm happy to say that will be happening sooner, not later. I don't have an exact date for it yet, because I'm still ironing out a few things. But, I mean, one of the things, for example, you may have seen on my Twitter, I was talking about JRPG Bingo, and that's kind of something I really kind of want to do, because I don't think there's a lot of Let's Plays for, like, JRPG style games or Japan games in general. So, I'm probably going to be focusing more on that, but I've also got a couple of other ideas. So, stay tuned. And hey, maybe Saturday Morning Switch will return on my channel as well in some form. But if you want to keep up to date with stuff I'm doing, either streaming or on YouTube, follow me on Twitter at SlazoKing or on Tumblr at SlazoKing, because I'll be updating both of those with my hijinks as they happen.
there we go. And it's definitely worth giving you a follow. I'm excited to see what you've got coming on
So
your
am I.
YouTube Twitch. Yeah.
But what about you, Squiggy?
So I already have a YouTube. I won't lie, it's something that doesn't really get used much. I have a little like bursts where I'll upload videos and not upload videos for a while. But now my plan is to take that a bit more seriously. But I'm not only going to focus on games. So, as some of you may know, I am a huge Disney fan as well.
Oh.
And
I thought
yeah, you didn't expect this,
I
did
thought you were
you?
going to say cricket.
No. So
People aren't
basically-
watching videos of cricket. Sorry.
No one wants to watch that. So basically, being a huge fan of Disney, I know a lot of the ins and outs. Obviously, working there as well. And one of my plans to do was to create some YouTube video series on some of my top things to do in Disney World and trip planning videos for that.
That'd be awesome.
And obviously, because I do know quite a bit, I can give some decent advice. It's also going to form a blog as well, so I'm going to write blog posts about it. That's coming soon. Obviously, follow me on Twitter to find when that happens. I'll be streaming a lot more on Twitch as well, and hopefully getting my YouTube channel back on track. Twitch, I'm Geordie Squires. YouTube, I'm John Squires. Hopefully be Geordie Squires soon once I get the name change sorted. And obviously Twitter, I'm at Geordie Squires as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for what I've got. Laura,
so we
Laura,
both turn to Laura.
I'm gonna go make some toast.
I've got no. Laura told me in secret her plan. She didn't
Did
really
I?
want to share it with many people.
Did I not?
Laura's got herself a new job.
Yes. Hello.
She is she's becoming a model
Ah, where's this
For-
going? Where's
for-
this punchline going?
for toes.
Ah, yes.
So
They weren't even my toes.
so yeah.
Oh,
So if you follow
God.
at Laura on Twitter, she'll be
God,
posting
I'm gonna
pictures.
get-
I've just had the
of-
revelation that
toes.
Laura's only got 4 toes. This is... Laura, what happened to the 5th one? Laura.
I have no toes. I cut them all off.
So yeah. So if you follow Laura on Twitter, she'll be posting more photos of her toes, just for your viewing pleasure.
So, if I decide on a plan or do something, just follow me at Twitter at Laurie Law. I
Yeah.
can't guarantee
And
toes.
to be honest, if you're following either me or Slazer as well, we'll probably be supporting each other because
Retweeting pictures of toes.
Oh, hang on. So wait, I'm not allowed to be supportive. I'm sorry. I thought you two are just supporting each other, and I'm sat there going, "You go, guys," in silence.
you go, guys. This foot's only got 3 toes on it. I'll still post it
man.
anyway. But no, yeah, it's been fun doing retro with you guys. It's been fun doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I hope
And-
everyone listening's enjoyed it.
Yep, I am just going to take control for one more second to thank everyone who has written and contributed to Retro Remastered. So not just us 3 who you've heard now for 100 bloody weeks, but
You
everyone
unlucky
else
people.
who's helped out. So thank you to Darren, who you can follow at DP Keen. He wrote some cool articles on WoW and MOBAs. To at Hoochie and Mike, who was on our Game of the Year podcast and did some cool articles on Destiny and Final Fantasy. To Ploiper, who you can follow at Ploiper, who did our Garden Warfare 2 coverage and a whole bunch of Friday 5s. To at Sean2K5, who did some of our new stuff, and you can follow his endeavours over on Screen Critics. To Tasman,
All game
who-
critics.
or Game Critics, or
Or
WWE,
WWE
Critics. To Tasman, who I think his current one is at Lilith Blackstar. She did a bunch of our retrospectives on stuff like
Yeah,
Jack
it
and
is.
Daxter and Kingdom Hearts. You can see Squiggy giving that the thumbs up. To
Yeah.
Tommy, who, at The King of Nothing, who helped out in our early days a lot and did some of our soundtracks in top 5. Same for at Alex Coos, who also did soundtracks top 5. To at Cole Mansa, who wrote one of our most popular articles ever on things you wanted from the Switch, beating my JRPG article, damn you Sam. And to Inofa, also known as Hi, I'm Dat Nofi, who did a cool article on Super Mario Maker for us. If I've missed anyone out, I'm sorry, but yeah, thank you to everyone who's contributed to us over the last 2.5 years. We couldn't have done this without you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just forgot someone. I know who you've forgotten.
Oh my god,
Oh,
Laura,
shit.
I'm glad you remembered now.
God, you forgot Daniel.
Oh yeah, you forgot that.
Daniel
You wrote a
wrote an article for us?
FIFA article.
He did
Yeah.
the top 10 FIFA article.
And it
Oh,
was a
Shoot.
yeah.
What's his Twitter? At Voice of the Mat.
At-
Follow
at-
Daniel.
No, at Daniel from RBR.
Oh, is it changed now? Okay, sorry. At
Yeah.
Daniel from RBR, and you can listen to him every Wednesday. Oh wait, you can't. But,
Follow him for his future endeavours as well.
Actually, don't follow him. Follow at Rock Bomb Radio, and then get an update on what he's doing.
Fair enough.
and
But,
obviously us 3 again. At Slazer King. At Geordie Squires. At Law. Oh Law.
yeah, and yeah, I'll take back over now, Slazer.
Go for it.
Thank you. And
Take us out,
obviously,
Squiggy.
I will. But obviously, you've thanked everyone. I want to thank you too as well.
Aw.
It's been a pleasure doing this. Yeah, it's a shame that we've had to come to an end, but life has got in the way.
A way
had-
longer stretch than we could have ever imagined. to be
Yeah,
honest.
from what started as like a project on the
thing.
side, a casual thing, is like it's
Yeah.
turned into.
I mean, if we're getting stories out now in our final moments, I will say I literally walked onto a PSN party one day and got told we were doing this.
yeah.
By the way, I'm going to be on the PS More, PlayStation More. Can't wait for you to walk in on Slazo. We're going to open a strip bar. Or strip club? Strip bar. What's a strip bar?
You want to open a strip bar, Laura?
That's my new plan. It's the first thing that came,
the deals in toes.
the first thing that came to my mind was let's open a
The
strip bar.
Wow. So if you want to think of more Laura thoughts, follow
I was
her
going to say,
on
if you want to
Twitter,
follow
Laura.
Laura's endeavours with a strip bar at
I'm
Laura
going to
and
be
Laura.
honest.
I'm
Out of
sure there'll
all
be
the
different
endeavours,
websites for that stuff
I
as
don't-
well.
Out of all the people of endeavours they want to follow, based on what I've said, I reckon I'd get the most
Most
followers.
viewers.
Yeah, you probably
So,
But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. What started as like a project on the side turned into a lot more, and it was fun. It's a shame it's ending, but obviously we've got our own things to get on with as well, and we're still gonna support each other on them. It's not as if we're gonna stop talking after this
are we breaking
record
up?
button's finished.
Sounds like we're breaking up, guys.
We are. Let's not say goodbye. To see you soon. And yeah, it's been good. I hope you enjoyed all these 100 episodes that we've done. It's been our pleasure to serve you all. Please give our last video a like on YouTube. Please, pretty please.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to see when nothing goes live.
Actually, to be fair, I should probably say I have got like some of the old episodes of the Pie Chat podcast finally uploaded, so maybe I'll put those up sometime after the podcast. Who knows?
Yeah, why not? We'll just
Should have
we'll,
mentioned
we'll
that
probably
earlier
still,
now I think about it.
Yeah.
The ghosts will live on.
Yeah, there'll be random stuff probably still going up and down, but yeah, it's been a pleasure. We've had fun. This has been episode 100 and our final episode of the Potty Chat podcast. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Take care, everybody.